This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Weldon Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Weldon Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Weldon Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Weldon Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business, car key replacements, and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Sports Grill on Bird Road, Miami Lakes, and their newest location in Doral is now hiring. If you're looking to join a great company and South Florida institution, give them a ring or drop an email. Sports Grill is hiring all kinds of positions, from hostess to servers, bartenders, or join the kitchen staff to craft some great food for their amazing customers. Please send your resume to m.cruz@sportsgrillmiami.com or call 305-219-5726. That's 305-219-5726. Sports Grill. Good food, good drink, good friends. The views and statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Caneswear. Go to Caneswear.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Sloman's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com. Licensed roofing contractor. 100% financing is available. Go to Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. We are ready to rock and roll from beautiful Dadeland. That's right, the KSDT CPA studios. Yes, Well, this is a studio inside the offices, inside a ginormous kitchen, okay? Which is bigger than most offices, actually. But anyway, this is why we encourage you to come on out and call the great folks at KSDT CPAs, baby. They know how to get it done. That's what it's all about. Hashtag going places. Yes, sir. So call them for many, many different services. We'll talk to Alan down the line. We'll have some fun. How you feeling, Sean? You feeling good? All right. All right. I like it. Last night, the Warriors, they got it done. And by the way, we're getting it done too. You know what happened yesterday, right, Sean? We have hit 5 straight liquor split matchups of the night. 5 straight. Hockey, baseball, basketball, all kinds of picks. I got a hockey pick for my liquor split matchup of the night. Today, we have 2 liquor split matchups of the night because I'm going to give you one also for Inter Miami on Saturday, taking on Atlanta on the road. So we'll break all of those down for you. So 5 in a row right now are liquor split matchups of the night. So we are red hot, baby. We took the Warriors +4 last night, and they easily won the game 103-90. They were up by 22 points, I believe, at one point. And the Celtics, to their credit, they were able to cut the deficit down at times, even to single digits, to like 9 or 8 points, but they could not get it any closer. The Warriors ended up getting it done. Steph ends up winning the MVP with the 34 points, the 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. And it's been a hard playoffs to kind of get a read for it. And it seemed to me like actually the last 2 games I got lucky and got the right read on the home one. And then on the road one, I told you guys yesterday that I thought that the home success for those guys was going to roll over into this game. And that's exactly what happened. Wiggins had 18. Green had 12 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Clay added 12. Poole added 15. And by the way, Poole also added one of the classic faces in NBA disagreement with a referee in history. If you go to my Twitter page or even my Instagram page at Big O Radio Show, did you see that post I had of Poole, like that face he made? And Steph did get hammered in that play. Like they were right. It was like it was ridiculous that they didn't call that foul, that kind of stuff. But whatever. But hey, look, great for Steph winning the MVP. The dynasty continues for the Warriors. They have won 4 championships in 8 years. And we all know they might have an extra one if it's not for all the injuries and everything that happened to them the last couple of years with Klay Thompson. The scary part for these Warriors, okay, here's the scary part for these Warriors. They're going to be better next year because Klay Thompson was not even himself yet. He only played half a season. You can tell that he's really not where he needs to be. And this whole offseason, for him to continue his rehab and get into basketball shape and become that Klay Thompson that they used to, they won the championship without Klay being Klay. That's scary. And they do a magnificent job of building around those guys and keeping certain individuals and developing others like what they've done with Poole. So you've got to give them a lot of credit. They're a really good organization, top to bottom. Drafting, developing, culture, everything that they've got going on over there in Golden State. They deserve a lot of props, man. And they could be actually better next year. And that's scary. Okay? That is some scary stuff to think about that. So Warriors end up getting it done. I thought Tatum obviously choked it up, 6 of 18, 1 of 4 from three-point range. Your best player cannot have 13 points in a game where you're getting closed out at home, by the way. That's the other thing for Warriors. They won it in the Garden. That's pretty sweet. Brown played like a stud last night with the 34 points and the 7 rebounds. Boston's bench had 5 points. Golden State had 21. That was another thing that that obviously really stood out there. Now, let's talk a little bit about the individuals. If you can pull up the Steph Curry soundbite when asked about the MVP. And Steph Curry is one of those dudes. It's, you remember our conversation last week that we told you that when you're kind of geeky, they make fun of you. When you're not really normal like other people, that we're all so faulty as human beings and we make so many mistakes. Steph is not one of those guys. Steph is that guy I can't be. Not on the court. I'm saying like in life. And Steph ends up getting all kinds of crap for no reason at all. And he's a good dude. He's a good human being. He looks to be a good husband, a good father, and that's most important. But what he also is an incredible example as a professional, as an athlete, and as a teammate. Here's the first question in the press conference last night asked of Steph Curry. And in Tim Tebow, Tony Gwynn, Cal Ripken, Derek Jeter, Russell Wilson, Tua Tagovailoa, in that kind of fashion, he handled it like all of those perfect dudes handle it. Fire away, Sean.
Steph, what does just this mean to you to finally be a finals MVP after everything?
Forget that. We champs. Why are you starting with that question? We got 4 championships.
Okay.
Steph,
so that's a team player. The first question, because everybody's hung up on, well, Steph Curry hasn't won an MVP. Well, like, really, dude? Does he really need to win a finals MVP to justify his career, his greatness? Narratives. We come up with this stupid shit in the media. And fans too, by the way, because you idiots end up climbing on board on some of these dumbass narratives. And that was one. And sure enough, there goes the media firing away with the narratives. And he, in Derek Jeter, Russell Wilson, Cal Ripken, Tony Gwynn type fashion, he says, dude, I don't care about the individual accomplishment. We won a championship. We have won our 4th in 8 years. Let's talk about that. That's what kids need to see. And you kids out there, don't let them allow you to make fun of Tua and Tim Tebow. Don't let them make you make fun of Russell Wilson. Yeah, I get it. Those guys aren't cool, right? Because it's cool to be bad. It's cool to, I don't know, break laws. It's cool to do things against the grain. But all those guys that do everything right, they end up getting heat for no freaking reason at all. And it's all of them. And in today's world, we would have done the same thing to some of those classic names that I talked about, but we didn't. But now we do. Now we make fun of these kind of guys. It's the oddest thing in the world. And Steph Curry, don't change, bro. Don't change. You're a marvelous example for young people. You're a marvelous example for parents because they get to use you as an example, overall. And I thought that was a really cool moment yesterday where, Steph and that team have been through so much, but it's not about what narratives you or I want to create. It's about how they're thinking in that locker room. And I thought that was actually really, really cool. Yesterday, it was Lisa Salters, who is a fantastic reporter and does an excellent job for ESPN. One of the best in the business, actually. And she asked Draymond Green what you had learned about yourself. And Draymond said, I didn't learn anything. And it's true. He had not learned anything whatsoever because he was himself and he fought through the adversity because that's kind of who he's been. You know what I mean? And yesterday again, he kind of broke out in the last game. And then last night, obviously, an amazing all-around game. 12 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He was everywhere, and his defense was fantastic. And you shouldn't have learned anything about Steph Curry yesterday, except he's a great player. He's one of the great players of all time. He's probably the greatest shooter I have ever seen in my entire life. I've seen the Pistol Petes of the world. I've seen the Mark Prices of the world. I've seen the Ray Allens of the world. I'm trying to think of some of these deadly, Michael Redd before the injury was one of those kind of guys. I've seen those kind of cats, Alex English. I've seen those guys that are, deadly accurate shooters. And I've never seen anything like Steph. And I don't know where you want to put him in your top 10, top 20, top 30. I don't care. It's so subjective. But what he doesn't deserve is any criticism. What he deserves is praise for being a great superstar, a great leader. And yesterday he showed all that leadership and everything. Man, he carried that team. There was one point where Mark Jackson goes, "I just give the ball to Steph." And I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, because if he wanted to get to the rim, he got to the rim. If he wanted to get the shot off, he got the shot off. Yesterday, also, or last night, I thought Klay Thompson had a great soundbite. So he talks about a moment during the regular season where Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Memphis Grizzlies, tweeted out something that pissed off Klay Thompson because it's a saying that the Golden State Warriors use, right? And so Klay yesterday, after winning the championship, kind of had that in the memory, but kind of like how the Kraken has everything ready for when Tua balls out. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of same thing. I've got the receipts. I'm just saving them. They're all inside the memory bank. And I'm just waiting to unleash the Kraken once that kind of stuff. So Klay Thompson unleashed the Kraken yesterday against Jaren Jackson. Fire away there, young man.
There was this one player on the Grizzlies who tweeted strength in numbers after they beat us in the regular season, and it pissed me off so much. I can't wait to retweet that thing. Freaking bum. I had to watch that. I'm just like, this freaking cloud. Okay. Sorry. That memory just popped up. You're going to mock us? Like, you ain't ever been there before, bro. We've been there. We know what it takes. So to be here again, hold that.
That was awesome. And again, Jaren Jackson, like, who are you, dude? Like, seriously, he's right about that. Like, you've never been there. You've never done it. You're nothing. I mean, you're the Memphis Grizzlies. Who are you? Period. Who are you in the history of basketball? What do you mean in the history of basketball as the Memphis Grizzlies? You mean nothing. You're just another franchise in the NBA that hasn't accomplished anything whatsoever. And Jaren Jackson, you haven't accomplished jack crap in the NBA. And you're going to be talking about the Warriors. And this is where, remember when we talk about all these idiots overreacting on May and June football? Same thing. Regular season basketball in the NBA. You win a game, hey, congratulations. Have fun. What does it mean in the big picture? Absolutely nothing, dude. The regular season practically means nothing. It's meant a little more for positioning nowadays. I will add than it has in the past. The NBA's changed a little bit, and what they added on the back end of for playoff positioning, yeah, that has changed a little bit, but overall, regular season wins. So when you're going to go after a team like that, make sure you're that team before you do something like that. Make sure you're good enough. See, John Moran is good enough to say whatever he wants, but yet his accomplishment so far in the NBA with this team, nothing. The Memphis Grizzlies haven't accomplished anything yet. So don't talk until you can walk the walk, is what it is. And good for Klay Thompson. I'm really happy for Klay because that's a guy that has had to fight through all kinds of adversity, and to get back to where he's at, it's pretty awesome. So Warriors win it 4-2, man. Pretty cool. By the way, Ira Winderman is going to join us at 10:30, so I'm sure we'll get into a lot of this talk with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, the Warriors, the Miami Heat. We've got the draft right around the corner. Now, the other thing that I was thinking about yesterday is Kevin Durant. So Kevin Durant has got to sit there and watch this. And you turned in the Warriors and Steph and Klay for Kyrie Irving? So you turned away the chance at being part of a dynasty to play with lazy-ass James Harden? I mean, think about that. You left a chance on the table to go down in NBA immortality to play with Ben Simmons? Really? Like, Kevin Durant, dude. You know, I'm a big karma guy. I talk about that all the time. I think if you spread good karma, I think you get back good karma. And I've normally been that guy. I help anybody that I can, and I've been blessed, and I end up more often than not, I get good karma in return, I believe. And I believe that when you spread the bad karma, that's what you're going to get in return eventually. It's going to come back to bite you. And, you know, Kevin Durant started his career carrying himself the right way. You remember? He was Steph Curry. He was Cal Ripken. He was Tony Gwynn. He was Jeter. He was one of those guys. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what the hell happened at the back end of his OKC career, and then he took off. And the burner accounts and the attitude, and he completely changed from that dude that signed like an $86 million extension and didn't say a word. That first extension came with zero fanfare because that's who he used to be. He used to be Russell Wilson. He used to be Tua Tagovailoa. And you thought he was going to be those kind of guys all the way through their whole career. And he turned into a first-class asshole. And that attitude festered, and it obviously built up to the point that he felt like he didn't need a team anymore. And so he's the guy, he can carry it all. And look what's happened. Injuries, inconsistencies, playing with a bunch of wackos or lazy asses. That's how you've been rewarded. And meanwhile, the rest of the league is getting better. And can you say the Nets have gotten better? No. Can you say the Nets are a desirable situation now anymore? Isn't that crazy? Think about that statement right there that Sean just said. I just asked him, is it a desirable situation? No. Why would you want to be part of that drama? Are they going to stay with Kyrie? Oh, my God. Ben Simmons? Is he going to actually wake up? Is Durant not going to stop being an a-hole? So you turned in a chance to be part of a dynasty. And by the way, you would have been part of leading that dynasty because you were the best player the 2 years that they won the title with you. There was like no reason for you to leave. You had found your calling. Sit there, play the game, enjoy it. Play with a great organization, by the way. That's the other thing. You went. Well, how did I start this show? Talking about, hey man, let's give Golden State a lot of credit. Culture, development, drafting, signing, trading, everything that they have. They have created a great organization over there with the Warriors. And you leave that for Brooklyn? I mean, Kevin Durant, if he has an ulcer, it should be about 10 times bigger right now. He should be like saying, yeah, let me just cut out the liver out of my body and let me just put it on the plate and let me just eat it. Because that's how bad it is for him, how bad he's turned out his situation. Hell, they might have won a title over the last couple of years without Clay, with Durant. Right? Imagine that. Imagine that. It's just greedy, just selfishness. It's a disease, man. It's a disease. We all need each other. We all will end up succeeding by actually working with others. It's a lot easier to tear yourself down if you think you can do it all by yourself. So, nice lesson for Kevin Durant and maybe for a lot of people out there, man. If it's pretty good, man, appreciate that position that you're in. Don't take it for granted because you could be in a way worse position, man. Let's see what we got here on the chat board. By the way, I see Chapman was in and Jamie all the way at the top and GP Trap and NorCal is in. GNS Lifting in. Corn, Iowa Productions. Big O, does Sean have an opinion on Vince McMahon stepping down as CEO of the WWE? How about that one? I got to tell you something. I read the story. I have it here. I made my notes on it. And I know that Stephanie is going to be running the show.
Yeah, she's going to be the interim CEO. He only stepped down for the duration of the investigation.
And he will fully cooperate.
Well, yes. And he's
part of the organization that he completely controls. And if you try to fire me, I'm going to end up firing you. And so that's kind of the way I read into it.
Well, he steps down as that. He stays on head of creative. And as head of creative, he booked himself tonight on SmackDown at 8 o'clock on Fox. He'll be appearing live. It's just the way it's rolling.
Yeah. So to me, it was just it's the Washington Generals.
You have to remember
are they the Generals? The Commanders.
Commanders.
It's the same thing. Oh, Snyder's wife's going to run it, but yet he's all over the place.
So you're talking about a guy that says no pub, or he says bad publicity is still publicity.
Yeah.
That's the way he looks at it.
Which is true, by the way.
It is.
It's true.
It is.
It is true.
That's the way he looks at it. He's going to make, I guarantee he comes out as the heel McMahon tonight.
Yep.
And it becomes a character right now, at least until all through this investigation. And they're going to have eyeballs on the TV now.
Yeah.
That's just what he's going to do.
Yeah. But in the end, I don't think that wrestling is held to a standard where people are not going to show up anyways, whether he's guilty or not. They're not going to care. Now, sponsors or whatever, maybe that might be, you might have an issue or two there, but you'll eventually get them back and get other ones. And
if that starts happening, then I guarantee you he'll take more of a back seat.
Right.
Again, tonight is a test to see how the effect of this is on the product.
Are you
That's
on
why
tonight?
he's booking himself.
Are you on tonight?
I am. I will probably be on after the show tonight just because of the incident that's going on now. Yeah.
So there you go. So after it happens tonight, you'll get the reaction from Sean. So come back to the channel And
because also they're bringing back John Cena in 2 weeks.
Right. So the Square Circle Digest will be on tonight to talk a little Vince McMahon and WWE. Devin Jordan, thank you, sir, for the love in the super chat. Says, Big O, would you put Steph in your top 5? To me, it's Steph, MJ, Kobe, LeBron, and Shaq. It's so subjective at this point, but no, he's not in my top 5. But yeah, he's a great player. Great player. See, you left Kareem out, and there's no way Steph is in front of Kareem. Like, no shot. 0. None. Nada. Nay. You know, that's where you and I disagree on that. And he's ahead of Shaq, by the way. Kareem is ahead of Shaq. So that's, you know, that's where you and I kind of disagree on some of those. Russell's not there in your top 5 either. And, you know, a guy has 11 championships. It's just too hard to leave him off that list. But, you know, either way, you know, Devin, that's a list that none of us will agree, and we'll just, you know, go back and forth forever on what it is. And, you know, anybody that makes any kind of a list now, it's just because you're a prisoner of the moment at this point in time. But he's great, man. And he is one of the greatest of all time, and he deserves all the love. And as I said earlier, I am more impressed with the way Steph Curry carries himself throughout all this stuff. And that first question in that press conference was Steph Curry. Everybody's worried about the silly narrative that he hasn't won an NBA Finals MVP. Like, that's that important. And he's like, yo, man, we just won the championship. That's what's important, 4 and 8. And I agree with him 100%. Because all we'll do is end up, hell, there are NBA Finals awards that we end up disagreeing with, that guy shouldn't have gotten, or this, or NBA Finals MVP for the season, and we disagree that this guy should have gotten. So who cares about those individual awards? Give me the player that cares more about the team accolades than the individual. And that's what I love about, you know, Jimmy Butler. And that's where I was wrong with Jimmy. When I thought he was coming from Philadelphia, I thought he was, okay, you know what, he just wants to come to a place so he can be the man and all that stuff, and, you know, put up 30 points every night and look at me. And he has been everything but that. He's been the superstar that wants to elevate the franchise while elevating everybody else around him. And he's about not his individual stat at the end of the night. Hey, Jimmy, tell us about the 12 points and the 12 assists and 12 rebounds and the 5 steals. No, man, let's talk about, you know, Max Strus had a great night, and this guy had a great night, and we won the game and all that kind of stuff. And I just did what we needed to do and that kind of stuff. And that's what you got to love about a guy like Steph Curry. And that's the reason why that franchise is what it is, by the way. Because when your leaders are selfless, it trickles down to the rest of the team, because it requires them to follow the same line. Because if the best player can be selfless, well, then I can be selfless too. And if Tom Brady's going to work harder than everybody else and be in the building and demand, well, then guess what? I can't slack off. I've got to do what he says. I've got to try to beat him into the building, you know, that kind of stuff. And when your leaders set those kind of examples, it's a beautiful thing, man. Truly is. You know, it's also a beautiful thing. Ohio John dropping a super chat saying, what's up, O? Just stopping in to let you know the big wedding day is tomorrow, and your boy has a bit of the jitters. You'll be fine, Ohio John. Just check your heart, man. If your heart's fine, it's good. I'll tell you what I told my buddy. One of my buddies, when I was getting married, he goes, what if you got to get a divorce? I said, I'm not getting married to get a divorce, okay? I don't start something to think about when I'm going to quit. I don't start the podcast thinking, well, it'll only last a month and then we're done. No, I'm thinking we're going on for years to come, because that's what we're striving for. You know, you think big picture. You want to keep going. And hey, man, 28 years later, we're still rocking and rolling here. You know what I mean? We're 2 years away from our 30th wedding anniversary. So you'll be there too, my brother. You know what I mean? Check your heart. Your heart says it. You're all good, man. You're all good. Don't worry about anything else. You'll get through everything in life, my brother. Love carries all. It is an amazing thing. I think that's why I've had 32 years in radio, because I get a lot of love from all the people out there that we get to connect with over the years. All right, let's get ready for a man that knows how to spread the love. Ira Winderman, that's right, and our Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
He is the man, the myth, the legend that is Ira Winderman. How you doing, Mr. Winderman?
I'm doing good. On one hand, I sort of feel like the NBA season's over. On the other hand, a week from today, we likely will have a new Heat first-round draft choice. You will be peppering me about how the Heat are going to handle free agency. So it doesn't stop. It just restarts all over again. You know this from the NFL and other sports. The NBA has learned, like the NFL, to be a 12-month-a-year cycle.
Yeah.
I am stopping now, and I am starting again.
That's right. That's right. Because when he used to do other hits in the local station, it was only seasonal, and so when he started with me on Onside and now here on the podcast, I told him, hey, no, this is a year-round thing, dude. NBA, NFL, they are year-round. They don't take time off, and we're not going to take time off. We'll be in Vegas with Ira and Anthony, and so we'll have that. So I get to bug you even in person in Las Vegas, because you're going to come by Tommy Rockers to do your hit and join us there.
Sure, and I'll be able to smell the bourbon in your sweat, so that'll be awesome, Big O.
Bourbon? Damn, you got me hitting it hard. All right, so yesterday, I was talking about this because it's so fun. We create narratives.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to follow them and all that. And one of the narratives we had is we were so hung up with Steph Curry. He hasn't won an NBA Finals MVP and all this stuff. And the first question was about that. And I loved his response, how it was more important about the team success, that he wasn't really worried. And it's interesting to see. And I think I guess some of us have trouble thinking that these guys are not always thinking about themselves. But there's actually players that do think about the big picture instead. And he's one of those guys. Whether you'd like to admit it or not, he's probably one of those guys that really enjoys the team accomplishment.
And first of all, I mean, I've been doing this for 3 decades now, 4 decades actually into, and I don't remember who the hell was a Finals MVP, nor do I care. It's such a transitory award anyway.
Amen.
But what I will say about this and Steph and players who talk about the team, you tend to talk about your team more when your team maintains a core. When you can look around and see, oh, there's Draymond again, there's Clay again, there's Andre again. And I think that's why it's so important to build on something and not to be like a lot of fans on the Big O show will tell you, hey, they got to trade this guy. They've got to break it up. They've got to start all over again. When you have a core, when you have guys who are meshed together, they feel for each other. They play for each other. They win for each other. When you're the Marlins and you go out and you buy a team for 1 year and you break it up and you buy a team for another year, you don't hear Josh Beckett talking about, I did this for my guys, because my guys weren't my guys last year and won't be my guys next year.
Right.
So what the Warriors did, even when they went to the bottom, worst record, when Steph was injured, when Clay was injured, they held it together. So when they got back, you heard them talking last night about Andre Iguodala, even though he had been away, even though he didn't play, even though he only entered for the final minute yesterday to get on the court, because it meant more. You hear Eric Spoelstra talk all the time. People, I got to change the coach, need to change Spo. No, when you hold something together, there is a communal feel to it. That's what we saw from the Warriors. That's what we saw from the Spurs, right? Spurs won a few, didn't a few other years, but it was always Manu, Tony Parker, and Robinson for a while, and then Tim Duncan, and those guys being together, and that meant something. The Raptors, a transitory championship. Kawhi shows up 1 year, leaves the next year. That didn't leave Kyle Lowry wanting to stay because his team was changing. It was Siakam coming in. It was new guys. So I do hope, for as much as people want to break apart the Heat, I would like to see Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, and honestly, and Tyler Hero. And some of this stayed together. So you can say, you know what? I saw this first in the finals in 2020 in the bubble against the Lakers. And I saw this in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2022. So when you do win it, you haven't won it with your rental players, with your buy a championship. You've won it with your team. That was the connection to, number one, to the team that won, the big three team that won 2 championships, went to 4 finals. It was almost always the same guys. It was Dwayne, it was Chris, it was LeBron. Mostly it was Mike Miller. It was those guys, Joel Anthony. It was those guys together. Even when they won in 2006, it was Dwayne and Shaq from the loss in 2005 against the Pistons coming together. So all of this, we hear on the Big O show and our accurate Pembroke Pines report, you've got to get rid of this guy. You've got to blow this out. You've got to change. When you have cohesion, you feel more like a team. I think that's what we saw from the Warriors celebration last night.
Yeah, it was it was impressive. Now, and here's the scary part. They probably can be better next year because Clay was probably playing 80% maybe.
He was horrible. He was horrible last night.
Yeah, it was like he's not really himself yet, and you can tell. And so he'll have this whole whole off season to kind of get that body, back to where it was. I don't know if he will be able to, but if he can get closer to 100% to where he used to be, look out, man. The Warriors can be even scarier next year, with a really healthy Klay Thompson.
Yeah, and again, they have Jonathan Wiseman coming back. So they also have their youth. And they really pointed it out, the Warriors, after last night, how we have a young core also. We have other young guys. They took the chance on Wiggins. It worked out perfectly. Jordan Poole came out of nowhere. Now, they will be hellaciously into the luxury tax. They will pay more in luxury tax than some teams will pay in their payroll. This, again, is the divide you think. With the luxury tax and a salary cap, you can avoid the baseball, the Yankees buy whatever they want, everyone else is screwed. There still is some of that. And with the revenue of the Chase Center and the money in the Bay Area, there will always be an inherent advantage. But, Big O, and this is important, and we talk about this in our accurate Pembroke Pines report here, it is about more than that. Because the Knicks have the money. The Knicks are willing to spend. The Nets were willing to spend. It takes more than that. It takes solid management. Bob Myers, we've seen that out there. Here, Andy Ellisberg, Pat Riley. Commitment to continuity and coaching.
Right.
Steve Kerr, through the good, through the bad. Big O, you remember this. Steve Kerr missed almost a year with the migraine after his back surgery.
Right, the back surgery. Yeah.
And Luke Walton came in and coached, and they had all that going on, but they stayed the course. This is the Warriors' way. Same thing with the Heat. This is the Spoelstra way. For weeks now, I've been dealing with you. Why didn't Spo do this? Why didn't Spo do that? Okay. Maybe he had a moment or not a moment, but still we know last year was the Eric Spoelstra way. Next year is the Eric Spoelstra way. There's a lot of commonality there between the Warriors and the Heat. And even after last night's game on Draymond Green's podcast, maybe you can pull this sound later or on your other shows. He said by going to the Heat last year, he learned from the culture how much you can contribute by not playing. And he basically was praising Udonis Haslem in the same role, that I helped our guys get here, even without playing. And Draymond Green, probably hyperbole, said you can make an argument that Andre Iguodala contributed more this year than when he won Finals MVP. So again, it's stability. I wish we could see it in more of our teams. I think the Panthers are coming around to that to a degree. I will never believe that with the Marlins. The Dolphins, let's see if they actually stay with a coach for more than a month. And you can see, Big O, what continuity does for you as a franchise.
Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins haven't had continuity because they haven't found the right person to stay behind so they can keep it going. The Marlins haven't made a financial commitment. That's their problem. The Panthers are totally committed. They just have to get the right.
They just started, though. Yes, they appear on a path to commitment, and I agree with that. The owners are more than committed.
More
stable, front office more stable, but still they have an interim coach who, as of today, when we tape this podcast on our accurate Pembroke Pines report, I'm still not sure the guy's the coach for next year.
No, that's fine, but that wasn't their fault. They the whole Coach Q thing surprised them. I can't blame them. But what I'm saying is Viola and Sifu are top notch. They are truly committed to winning, and that you can support every year, no matter what. So that's the one thing. You know that whether it's Burnett or they're going to go get a veteran coach. Either way, they're going to try to do
Right.
what's best for the organization.
But the coach does
They're not
matter. The
doing-
coach does matter for continuity
sure.
because when I look
Sure.
at John Cooper, not get emotional, behind that Tampa Bay bench, you realize, yep, he is the continuity of the Lightning. Players have come and gone. Barclay Goodrow left. They bring in other players there. Yes, Vasilevsky goal is a constant, but so is the coach. So I think what I'm trying to say to sum this all up is the Warriors continuity win. The Heat continuity have a chance. Other teams in our market, hey, it's a different coach every year. Chris Greer's been the only continuity in the Dolphins with so-so results, and that's the difference. Find the right people, let the right people stay as the right people.
Yep. No, I'm with you there. The other thing I was thinking about last night, okay, so Kevin Durant turned in immortality, dynasty, great organization to play with Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and now Ben Simmons. What? I mean, like, karma's, I believe in karma. I'm a guy that I believe you spread good karma more often than not, you're going to get it in return. And I believe if you spread bad karma, eventually it's going to come back to bite you in the ass.
Sure.
Here's a guy that it was all there for him, dude. It was all there for him. And
I'm
he
going
left
to
that
argue when you're done that
situation.
it wasn't all there for him.
Why?
Because sometimes, you know what, Big O? It sounds nice when you say you're all in for the team, but not all of us are built that way. Some people are renegades and want to be their own person. Because you know what? As we saw last night, Kevin Durant would have been somewhat in Steph Curry's shadow. It's hard to be in someone's shadow. Sometimes people would rather be themselves free and clear. In Oklahoma City, he was just part of something. It was him. It was Harden. It was Ibaka. It was that team there. It was a little Westbrook. It was just different. Some guys need to be their own guy. I know it sounds beautiful and wonderful. We just spoke about the Warriors, the cliche of being a team and all for one. Not everyone is wired that way. Kevin Durant,
But Steph and Wade were willing to take steps back and
I'm saying
and allow
exactly. You're
Durant to
answering my
excel
point.
and a dry. So
It's how you're wired.
So my karma point is, you want to be an asshole, you want to be a greedy asshole. Well, here's your reward for being a greedy
I don't
asshole.
think it's a greedy asshole. It's like saying, okay, Big O, you could be part of Odyssey and whatever they call themselves, but your time slot's going to shift and you might not be happy. And at a certain point, you go, no, I want to do my show, my way, the way I feel. That's not being selfish. That's being true to you. Kevin Durant was true to himself. Kevin Durant never lied and never said, we are going to have a better team than what the Warriors had. He didn't. He never said, I'm going to have better teammates than Steph and Clay. He never did. What he wanted, what he said, and what he's proven is, I want my team to be Kevin Durant Incorporated. That's what he has in the Nets. When you look at the Nets,
that wasn't a good comparison because Odyssey would have to give me a national spot to make me feel like,
Okay, but I'm
okay, now
saying-
you're really supportive of me and all of that, and then I can consider something like that. But if you're gonna compare it to being on a local station with,
but what I'm comparing is that some people have sort of a different way of viewing the situations, and you accept that. You know what? Once Kevin Durant left a pretty good situation in Oklahoma City, even to go to Golden State, you knew the cat was different. You knew he was a rental kind of guy. LeBron is shown to be that kind of guy. Where's LeBron's number one commitment? Is it to the Heat?
No,
the
to
Cavaliers,
himself.
the Lakers?
Himself.
It's to billionaire LeBron James.
Only.
Look, Ma, I made it. But we knew that. Pat Riley was a little naive. Pat Riley came from Showtime, came from All In Together with Magic, with Kareem, with Worthy, with all those guys. And I don't think he could ever fully appreciate how LeBron wanted it to be more about himself than about his team. That's where the schism was when he went to Vegas in 2014 and LeBron was watching soccer instead. So I think some guys, Big O, you just have to say that guy is wired that way, and you have to work from that premise. So you can say Kevin Durant was stupid. I'm saying Kevin Durant was saying true to himself.
well, I mean, it all depends, right? Because that's not how he started. He was the quiet guy. He was the cool guy. He was the guy that signed the $90 million extension without any fanfare whatsoever. I went, what? Kevin Durant just signed an extension, right? And there was nothing. And then all of a sudden he changed. And I don't know what the hell happened to that guy. And he went from being, Derek Jeter and Tua Tagovailoa and Steph Curry and all those kind of cats, Tony Gwynn, Cal Ripken. He went from being one of those guys to then being whatever the king size a-hole that he's become.
Well, but you know what? Isn't
Weird.
that to a
It was
degree?
weird.
Isn't that to a degree Tom Brady, where he goes to Tampa, puts it in the face of New England, and then apparently is having offseason dalliances about going to the Dolphins after winning a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay? I'm saying there.
Yeah, but hold on a second.
Sure.
No, but Tom Brady's not a first-class jerk, and never been. Not with his Tampa teammates, not with New England, not with
I
whatever.
don't think Kevin Durant's a jerk.
He's just doing business.
I think Kevin
But I'm
Durant's just
saying
doing business for Durant Incorporated.
Bro, burner phones, going after people, all kinds of verbal confrontations.
You
stuff
know
on
what?
social media. Tom Brady is nothing like Kevin
Okay,
Durant.
but old man Alzagari, and this is from older man Winderman. Times have changed. It's just different. Again, Michael Jordan, what he was, if there was Twitter, if there were a TMZ Sports following him when he was playing poker and betting on the golf course, we would have a completely different Michael Jordan impression. These are just the times and how people do things. But believe me, Tom Brady's behind the scenes dalliances with the Dolphins. We still don't know if he's coming in to replace Chris Greer, and all that is hardly the stuff of sainthood. But you have to accept today's athletes because I finish up here.
Get that.
Because more than anything, I love watching Kevin Durant play. I
No,
love watching
he's a
Tom
great player.
Brady play. I love watching LeBron James play. You know what? As sports fan, that's all I ask. That's all I can ask.
Yeah, I just think there's look, Dwayne Wade has had to make moves too, but he's not a jerk in the process. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just, I just think Durant is a guy that has like Tom Brady doesn't rub people the wrong way.
But again, it's how you let yourself get rubbed. And basically, you're telling Kevin Durant, get off my lawn. Okay, I get that. And we can all have our own way. The one thing I've learned covering these athletes with the Heat for 34 years and even longer is you really got to accept that it's just a different era and a different time and a different way between social media and self-promotion. That's just the way it is, whether you call it trolling, whether you call it, taking, making things personal when they shouldn't be, whether you call it selfishness. Selfishness is part of sports now also. It just is.
Oh, wait, don't start with the rubbing stuff because then we got to get into Deshaun Watson. That's just not the conversation I want to have anymore right now. Come on. I mean, you start with the rubbing stuff. All right. So now we turn to the draft.
Okay.
Is your gut telling you they're drafting that, or will that be a trade? Because I know you're saying, well, we're going to be talking about the 27th pick. I just get a feeling that we're never going to meet that 27th.
Yeah, there's two things that are going to happen. On draft night, Adam Silver is going to hand a Miami Heat hat, I believe, to a player selected by the Miami Heat. I wonder how snug the fit will be. But again, I spoke to you about this when we spoke with Clay on our Sloman's Home Security Inside the Paint show on Wednesday. The tell will be this, Big O. Will there be a press conference with said first-round pick the following day or next weekend? Or will the Heat go, no, we're going to hold off on that press conference a little bit because player 27 is included with Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero for a blockbuster trade to be announced on July 6th. So keep an eye out on how the Heat social media and media relations handle the pick at 27. Most likely, I think they will pick at 27. Maybe by then we'll already know through Woj, through Shams, through someone else, through Jordan Schultz. He'll tell us, hey, no, they're picking this player for someone else on their Twitter. But this is living in the moment. You pointed this out. Jimmy Butler, 32. Kyle Lowry, 36. PJ Tucker, 37. This is now. They have future. They have Bam. As of now, they have Tyler. They will have a first-round pick again next year. They will have to exercise because then the pick could possibly go to Oklahoma City starting the year after that. So, yeah, I'm not so sure. We will have enough tells on draft night to know if the Heat's keeping the player. But I also will say this. Don't expect number 27 to come in and be in the starting lineup. And I wrote about that today at the Sun Sentinel. If the Heat do lose PJ Tucker to free agency because he opts out for more, there's not a single power forward on the roster as long as Bam's going to play center. That will be about free agency. Big O, it's always about free agency and the trade market for Pat Riley.
Yeah, no doubt. By the way, speaking of power forwards, if they didn't get the whale, that next tier backup plan, one of the guys I mentioned was Christian Wood. Okay. Speaking of Sporting Wood and Deshaun Watson, Christian Wood, let's talk a little bit about Christian Wood. What did you think of that deal? Because I didn't think the Mavericks gave up much.
No, it was totally a preemptive move. I think Dallas knew that he wanted him, and it basically was, Why take 27? We can give you 26. And it could, that's who Mark Cuban is. But the Heat did not have the salaries to match Christian Wood's come within the percentage of $14 million. Dallas had four $3 million contracts to put in play. The Heat do not.
Duncan Robinson, we'll give you Duncan.
And the reason that Houston didn't want that was this reason. Every single contract they got from Dallas expires after next season.
Oh.
Duncan has 4 more years for a crap ton of money. It's not an attractive contract. It's one that must be accompanied by a sweetener, and the sweetener had to be more than just number 27. So here's the deal, Big O. I do this all week. I threw it to you Monday in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report. I threw it to Clay Ferraro on Wednesday. Would you have traded Tyler Hero for Christian Wood?
Well, yes, if I could not get my stud. If I could not get Donovan Mitchell.
You don't know now.
Which I don't know now.
Right.
So no,
I would not. I'm kind of surprised you didn't think hell no.
I would not make that move right now at all.
Right.
I have to first exercise my other moves, and then I would make that move.
So here's the point.
Because Christian Wood is my insurance that if I lose PJ Tucker,
right,
I still have a power forward. And if I get to keep PJ Tucker, now I can play Wood and Bam, Wood and PJ at the same time, or Wood at times just alone at center. I can play him all kinds of ways, and he's also a three-point shooter, so he can stretch the floor. So I really like that kid. I've been a Christian.
But the
Wood
only
fan.
way that he
had
could
him as a keeper. Yeah.
The only way that he could have trumped Dallas's offer was Tyler Hero, and that's too premature, and I think too much to give up. That Christian Wood could wind up being a 6th or 7th man here, even if Tyler starts, depending if PJ comes back. So again, you get boxed in by your salary structure. This is a cap league. It has to be dollar for dollar. Dallas had the dollars. The Heat did not as far as contracts. Again, very odd salary structure. Everyone either makes $28 million at the very top or makes Tyler Hero's sweet spot, about $6 million. Everyone else minimum. Hard to make deals unless you can take my Duncan Robinson, please.
All right, before I let you go, any other names popping up that could be available to the Miami Heat via whale trades?
Yeah, I think Jeremy Grant is going to be the sort of top mid-tier name. Gives the Heat a lot of what they want. You make him your 3, even if it costs you Tyler Hero. That's the question. Is every trade will be up against this, and I will ask you every week, twice a week in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report, would you be willing to trade Tyler Hero for player X? So I've thrown out a bunch of names. We've spoken about Jeremy Grant. Again, we'll get to this. No, I'll let you do another segment another time. Jeremy Grant, Harrison Barnes. In free agency, maybe a Joe Ingles. There's names out there. There are players. It's how much better does it make you? How much is it worth the risk? How much are you willing to give up? Teams apparently are willing to give up a for a Jeremy Grant. But you know what? The Heat have a way of also.
I like Jeremy Grant. Joe Ingles, I'm not giving up Tyler Hero.
And he's coming off an Achilles. So that's a tough thing. Harrison Barnes, I thought he was the guy who, because he was with the Warriors, succeeded. In Dallas and Sacramento hasn't. But there are names available. You can give yourself a better wing option. And what the final showed you this, whether it was Tatum and Brown, whether it was Clay and Steph, you need a second scoring option in your starting lineup, which you don't have when you were rolling out Jimmy, a scoring option, along with Bam, not a big-time scorer, along with PJ, along with Strus, a shooter, and along with Kyle Lowry at 36 years old. You have to find a small forward, or at the 2, if you move Jimmy up, however you play that, one more scoring starter. Every team needs something. We'll see what the Heat can do.
By the way, if I'm the Celtics, I'm a little disappointed with Jason Tatum at home in an elimination
He's a number 2 right now. He's not a number 1. And the perfect player for the Celtics right now who they could use, Big O, ironically, I think Kyle Lowry would have made them so much of a better team. You wouldn't have had 23 turnovers a game. You would have gotten into offense. He would have stabilized you. I'm not saying the Heat are going to trade Kyle Lowry to them. I'm not saying they should. But when I watched that series, I said, you know what? If they had Kyle Lowry at least on the offensive end instead of Marcus Smart, they wouldn't have been so freaking clueless on so many possessions.
All right, what do you got going in the Sun Sentinel, my friend?
I wrote sort of what we spoke about, that the Heat have nothing in power forward. So is this the rare draft where you target a position, where you say, hey, best player available is a nice concept, but we need to go for something special? Spoke to Adam Simon, the Heat's director of player personnel. He said, nope. The times we've drafted for need, We had Hassan, we drafted Bam Adebayo. That worked out pretty well. We had Justice Winslow, we had Josh Richardson, even Dion Waiters. We took Tyler Hero. That worked out pretty well. There was a draft, they needed a point guard. They took Shabazz Napier. Didn't work out pretty well. So I think it will be the push-pull, but it's very unusual to go into draft night without a single power forward under contract for next season. So maybe when you and I talk next Monday and then again next Wednesday in our hour-long show, maybe this is the rare time you have to draft for need.
Get the Fountain of Youth for Udonis Haslem. Bring him back so we can start him again. There you go. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heapy. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, thank you as always, my friend. Have a great weekend.
We'll talk to you Monday after the Heat's big weekend trade. Thank you, Big O.
You got it. There you go. You never know. It could end up happening. That is Ira Winderman and your Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. We thank Ira Winderman. Great conversation as always. Well, guess what? We are 5-0 in our last 5 liquor split matchups of the night. We are red hot. Will we continue to be red hot? Let's find out with our liquor split matchup of the night.
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the liquor split matchup of the night.
We are on a roll right now. We have hit 5 straight liquor split matchups of the night. And liquor split, of course, remember, it is Miami's own liquor store. Download the app, iOS or Android. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, it is Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. The Avalanche are leading 1-0. Colorado is favored by 1.5 goals. The over and under is 6 goals. Tampa Bay Lightning are plus 125 in the money line, and the Avalanche are minus 150. Braden Point did make his way back finally from the injury, had an assist in the game, in game 1, that is. And let me tell you something. I think Braden Point's going to get better as this series goes on, so he's going to feel better. And the Avalanche speed was definitely a difference maker early on in that game, but as the game wore on, especially halfway, the second half of the second period and the third period, Tampa was able to muck it up a little bit, slow it down, become more physical, and figure things out. As this series goes on, I think Tampa gets stronger and stronger and figures everything out. And Vasilevsky, he has to come in sharp right from the get-go. And obviously, and not that everything was his fault because they were pretty solid goals overall, but they've got to find a way to, start it off pretty strong. And I think they will today. In fact, I think they're going to win tonight. So I'm going to take the 1.5 goals. I'm going to take the dog on the road. I won last time by 0.5 goal by taking the Tampa Bay Lightning. If Vegas wants to give me 1.5 goals, I get it. The empty netters, all that stuff, it becomes very dangerous with 1.5 goals. But I really like Tampa to even the series tonight. I think they were kind of figuring them out, and I think they're going to get better as this cup wears on. Tampa plus 1.5 goals in the cup game tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on ABC Stanley Cup Finals. Don't forget, download the app, iOS or Android, and only for a flat fee of $2.99, man, you can get anything delivered to you, whatever liquor you need. Well, you need some whiskey, you need some vodka, you need some wine, you need some beer. They've got all kinds. You can check it out. They've got all kinds of snacks. You got a meeting going on. You don't have time to leave. Grab that app, have it delivered. You're watching the game. You were already drinking. Don't go drinking and driving. Order it. Flat fee of $2.99. $1 goes to helping homelessness in Miami. That is your liquor split matchup of the night. Manny Navarro is next.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download the Tap That app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
Alrighty, there you go. Caneswear, where all orders, by the way, over $99, you will get free shipping. And so go to caneswear.com. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will definitely take care of you. Walk in there at 2511 South University Drive in Davie. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. All right, Manny, not a lot going on, but tell me about this investigation into John Ruiz, NILs, all that good stuff. Should we be concerned?
I didn't get that sense at all, that this is really an investigation yet. I think this is more of the NCAA knocking on doors to say, hey, you guys have been pretty involved in a lot of NIL deals, and we're just stopping by to visit and let you know that we're around and that we're asking questions and that we're probably going to be doing the same at other schools that have signed a whole bunch of NIL deals. I think more than anything else, they're just trying to make contact and understand that and send the message that, hey, we're paying attention. I don't think they have anything yet to really go on against Ruiz or anybody at Miami. It's not my sense from the people I've spoken to or the people at The Athletic have spoken to. I think it's just sort of the beginning phase of looking into NIL and how these deals are done. And really, I think if you ask John Ruiz, he almost feels like they're asking for advice on what they should be looking for and how to maybe modernize whatever sort of bylaws that they're going to create to run this thing.
That's actually that was going to be my follow-up question, because I didn't get the feeling it was an investigation. I got the feeling that they started in Miami and they're probably going to make a tour of going to a couple different schools to kind of get a feel for what's being done, so they know how to then create whatever they can to kind of regulate this if they can, or something along those lines. Because I think this is like a storm that came out of nowhere and they weren't prepared for it whatsoever. And I think the NCAA also has to be very careful on how they police this too, because it gets into violating people's rights and freedoms and how to earn money and make a living and all those kind of things. And so, and by the way, this is a right to work state. So,
Absolutely.
So I don't know. In fact, I don't know out of all 50 which are right to work states and all that kind of stuff. And again, I'm not a lawyer and I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn, so I don't know exactly how it all affects everything in the big picture and all that. But I do understand that because the landscape has changed, these kids now have rights that they did not have before. And you have to be very careful now all of a sudden.
Right now, what's really governing this is state law, and every state law is different. There's not a national law. So, the NCAA may want to enact certain bylaws, but if it's illegal in that particular state, they can't pass it. So here's the reality, the reality is the fact that it's sort of the Wild West and there's nothing at all in place. It's really hard for the NCAA to crack down on anybody unless they have a smoking gun, unless they have receipts, unless they have video of John Ruiz calling recruits, high school recruits, and saying, on the record, in clear as day, hey, I'm going to pay you $100,000
Right.
or $1 million to come to Miami.
Right.
So again, you look back at what cases have actually, created crackdowns, right? The Nevin Shapiro case. The only reason any of that stuff came out because it was federal documentation. Those interviews had to be done on the record. So in this scenario, I know it's sexy to run the headlines. Miami's getting investigated, but I think the reality is they're not. They're being talked to about NIL because they're one of the schools that's heavily involved in it, and it's the early stages, and these guys are just doing their homework.
The other thing I thought about was, you've been going back and forth with Darren Rovell, and then that brings, like Ruiz and Rovell, it's like a UFC cage match every other day. And so, I think that's also, I know that we sit back in Miami as fans and we say, well, why are we getting the unfair treatment and all that? Well, I don't necessarily feel like it's unfair. It's just, you've also brought all kinds of extra attention to this situation more than others, and that's the obvious, and we can't deny it. And Ruiz going back and forth with Rovell, that's going to bring the attention of everybody, including the NCAA. You know what I'm saying? So a little bit of that also kind of, not that it affects it in a negative way, it just brings it up to the forefront a little bit more. That's all.
And I would say this, part of the reason everybody knows, the NCAA came down to Miami was because Ruiz talks to a lot of reporters, and he told them that he spoke to them. Most of these schools are going to keep this under wraps.
Right.
I was talking to the other writers at The Athletic about this because obviously everybody's, anytime there's anything new with NIL, the alarm clock goes off, right? Like we all got to wake up, pay attention, turn the radar on, what's happening. And, I told them, I said, we got to find out what's going on at Tennessee. We got to find out what's going on at Texas A&M. Ruiz is volunteering this information, but I'm sure the same conversations are happening at Tennessee and Texas A&M and Texas and all these schools that have done these big deals, but nobody's publicizing it because over there everybody keeps their mouth quiet and nobody says anything. So, yes, I would expect that there will be more noise eventually to come out about how many schools spoke to the NCAA about NIL. But for right now, I don't think it's anything Miami fans have to worry about. I think the bigger storyline this week is whether or not they'll beat out Florida for Jaden Rashada, the quarterback from California. That's kind of you want to ask what's going on summertime? I think that's a bigger deal right now than the Ruiz stuff.
It's, I retweeted something that Ruiz put out there, and to me, the funny part about all of this is, man, I'm rooting for the kids because all the system has ever done is take advantage of these kids. And all college sports has ever done, especially football and basketball, is make billions of dollars over the decades. And those kids didn't really get much. And they knew deep down inside, most of those kids going to college for football, they weren't going for an education. So they knew what was going on and what was up, and they knew that they were milking it and getting the max out of it. And now that these kids can actually get whatever they can while they're there, God bless them, dude. God bless them. And, I root for Ruiz in that sense because the system has been so unfair to the kids, and kids have been stuck in schools for years after the coach leaves and recruits them there. And that went on for decades, man. And kids were in an unfair position. Now they can pick up and leave when things aren't right, when they're not being treated fairly, or they think they're not being treated fairly, whatever it is. But at least they have the same rights that some of these coaches have. And now they have the opportunities to make some more money, just like these coaches have been making hand over fist in forever in time. And so for me, I root for the students. And I'm glad that they're able to get anything that they can get because it might make their lives better. It might make their lives easier. It might take pressure off of them. It might take pressure off their families. So for me, I root for all NILs, every school, every person, every type of Ruiz that there is all over the country helping other schools. More power to. I know that there's another motive behind it for them. but I don't give a shit, dude. I'm rooting for the kids.
Well, and I would venture to say that Miami's probably been one of the more fortunate programs because, look, I made phone calls and talked to people at other NIL collectives, and I mean, Miami's got 115 student athletes or whatever, among those signed by Ruiz. I mean, there's other schools that have maybe 2 or 3 or 4 kids that have NIL deals, and that's it. So in that sense, you talk about spreading the wealth and being able to reward those people. Without doubt, I mean, they're very lucky to have Ruiz at Miami and to have the system they have set up where everybody gets a piece of it.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So what's next in this whole thing? What have you heard?
Well, I mean, unless the NCAA comes back with any sort of real, information or whatever, I just think there's nothing. It's basically going to be Ruiz going back to work. It's a business as usual. I don't think anything sort of changes here unless there's a smoking gun, unless there's some real, information that comes to light that they're able to use against him.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Recruiting wise, anything out there? What's going on with the Canes? Any transfer portal stuff? What do we know?
Well, they got 8 visitors this weekend. Jaden Wayne is the big one. He's a kid out of Seattle, Washington. I met him in January when he came down on an unofficial. He paid his own way to come down here to visit Miami for their junior day. And they got a lot of national kids here from all over the country. The bigger story, I think, this week is Jaden Rashada, who was a quarterback Miami has been on pretty hard from the get-go. When I was out in Las Vegas last week, the conversation was, well, he's going to sign with Florida. That was the buzz coming out. Gators need a quarterback now. From some conversations I've had here in the last 24 hours, it looks like he's going to be visiting Miami either this weekend or next weekend. And so the Hurricanes, I think, have a shot here to get a 4-star quarterback, a top 10 player at their position in Mario's first real recruiting class. I think otherwise they'll end up with the kid who is here this weekend, which is Emory Williams, kid out of the Panhandle area. Florida State and Mississippi State are both on him pretty heavily. But every year we talk about the quarterback position. You got to bring one guy in every year, especially now with the transfer portal, right? Jake Garcia, who knows if he wakes up tomorrow and says, I want to take off, or Ja'Curry Brown, any of those guys. So every year you try to get a good quarterback in your class. I think Miami has a chance now to get Rashada, whereas before, a couple of days ago, that wasn't the case.
All right. What are you working on over at the Athletics so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, I mean, I have so many stories I've been wanting to work on, but I got my daughter's dance recital tomorrow. I'm actually sitting in the car outside of their Coral Springs Amphitheater up here where they're going to be performing tomorrow. And, there's going to be stories written. Man, I got so many interviews with so many different kids. I did a podcast this week. I had a story on the latest recruit that Mario got committed, a tight end out of the Minnesota area, a kid who's a former lacrosse and hockey player. Jackson Carver's his name. And, they could potentially have another tight end commit here pretty soon. A kid who's deciding, Reed McKeska, who's deciding between Miami and Oklahoma. So there's going to be tons of little tidbits and news and information, as well as some feature stories. Like I mentioned, the South Florida Express won the national championship last weekend. I have a story on them that's going to be coming out soon. I caught up with Bobby and Robbie Washington, 2 of the 6 commitments that Miami has right now. They were at UM's camp on Wednesday. Both of the kids were there. And so there's a lot of off-season recruiting type stuff, man, that'll be coming your way at the Athletic for me.
I am looking forward to reading all of it, and make sure you guys subscribe out there and go to Caneswear, 2511 South University Drive. They've got practically anything and everything with the UM logo. They've also got a lot of great Dolphins gear, so you can get ready for the upcoming season. The Heat, baby. We got a nice free agency run now coming up here, and the draft, all kinds of stuff. Marlin season's going on. Inter Miami season's going on. You got it all there at Caneswear, and you can also get ready for the Florida Panthers off season also. They got to make some moves too. Follow them on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. And, of course, check him out there at The Athletic and catch him twice a week doing his thing here. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. And good luck to your daughter, by the way.
Thank you. They're both performing tomorrow morning. Two shows tomorrow. Yeah, so it'll be fun. I'll send you some pictures.
And you'll be nervous. You got it. All right, my brother.
All right, man. Take care.
Be good. There you go. Family first, baby. Always. All right. Caneswear, that's our family too. Great report by Manny.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right. And folks, we tell you all the time, we've been telling for years about EJD Construction, 305-433-4843, and affordable quality work. They do custom home construction, major home remodeling. They are fully insured. They're not picking up some dudes at Home Depot and then showing up at your house. And they provide, by the way, construction cost analysis with architectural drawings in the design phase prior to paying for the engineering phase. And the construction cost analysis, it is basically a construction estimate with an added 15 to 30% to contingency and to establish a budget for construction. EJD already provides detailed estimates based on a bid set. And what is the bid set? The bid set is a full set of architectural drawings that includes a site plan. So if you want that and more, call EJD Construction so you can get fully versed and educated on what you're going to do. You may have a vision of what you want to do. Have EJD Construction go in there, analyze it, and explain it for you. They'll do it right. 305-433-4843. Maybe you're consolidating in the family. Maybe one family's moving in, so you've got to expand the home. Maybe you want to add a second floor. Maybe you want to build a wall around your house. Whatever it is that you need to do, EJD Construction. Maybe you want to redo the roof, and you got to fix that roof. EJD Construction will do that also for you. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843. for EJDconstruction.com. All right. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rheaume text line, it's 855-912-1056. That's our text line. 855-912-1056 is the text line, the Welt and Rheaume text line. If you want to get in on the show, let's see, what else do we have here? Bitcoin under 10K, ETH under 500. Buying opportunity is on the way. It's been buying opportunities for a while now, bro. You don't know when the bottom is. You don't know when the top is. I've been buying Bitcoin since it was at 42 and down, and I'll just keep buying and keep buying. I don't know if it'll get to 10. I doubt it very much. But then again, I didn't see the Celsius collapse. I didn't see the Luna collapse coming. I didn't see a war. I didn't know that half of Europe gets their wheat from Ukraine, which, by the way, another reason why if Russia takes over, they will also get that, not oil, but also wheat, because they know they're going to be losing out on oil as years go on because we're going to be using less and less oil. The supply chain issues, the China shutdowns, which, of course, have hurt supply chain issues. There are so many reasons. There are so many things that none of us saw coming. And that's why, you know what I mean? So I didn't expect it to get to 20, and I don't expect it to get to 10. But if it does, as I said before, even when some of you nutbags like my boy Tremolio, who knows nothing about, crypto, but like 9 months ago, a year ago, oh no, it's going to go to 20,000. You're guessing, and because you didn't know anything about all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I got another buddy, the same thing with 20,000. It's like, no, dude, you didn't know anything of this stuff that was going on. And this is what has, and I don't know how much worse it's going to get. They put 75 points up, the Feds 2 days ago. There may be another 50 to 75 points next month. And who knows, they may have to add another 50, 75 points again down the line. So we're headed to a recession. We're headed to some tough times right now. So who knows what's going to happen? But I'll tell you what, I know what the end game is a year, 2 years from now. So no matter how much more down it goes, it will not stop me from continuing to buy, because that's what you do. You continue to buy as it continues to dip, and you DCA. That's what I'm doing. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to do that, but that's what I'm doing. So if Chainlink wants to continue to go down, I'll continue to DCA. If Ethereum wants to go down, I'll continue to DCA. If Cardano wants to continue to go down, I'll continue to DCA. Avalanche wants to continue to go down, I'll DCA. Bitcoin, I'll DCA. Polkadot, I'll DCA. The ones that I'm in and the companies that I believe in, I will continue to DCA and lower my overall costs. That's how you do the investing. But you've got to have the patience and then wait for the bounce. I picked up more VeChain yesterday at 2 cents. And I'm going to keep picking it up, and I'm going to keep picking it up. And if it gets to 1 cent, 1.5 cents, I'll keep picking it up. And I'll keep lowering my overall price. And then 2, 3, 4 years from now, when VeChain's at $1, I'm the one that's going to be laughing. Okay? That's the way I look at it. 3, 4, 5 years from now, when Bitcoin is well over $100,000, then I'll be laughing. But the idea is now's the time to take advantage. You've been at it for 5 months now. For 5 months has been a buying time. It continues, and while this, as long as you can afford it, then you do it. And you DCA in there every single time. And it gets lower, DCA a little more, because you have no idea when the floor hits, and then you have no idea when it jacks up. I'm ecstatic with all of this. While others are looking at it really bad, and I'm down. I'm way down. Way down. I mean, way down. Don't care. Not worried about it, not flinching. Look at my face. I am not concerned whatsoever. Okay? I feel like the day that I got fired from QAM, that I told the boss, thank you. I appreciate it, man. I was looking forward to this day. Okay? The HR guy told me, I've never seen anybody smile after getting fired. I've never seen anybody happy after getting fired. And I told him, I'm free now. Yes, this is great. So I have zero concerns. Tesla will bounce back. I'm not an investor in it, but it's going to bounce back. Apple's down. It's going to bounce back. Microsoft is down. It's going to bounce back. All those great stocks that are out there, and they're all down because the whole world is down. Okay. Housing is next. Still strong, but eventually it has to catch up. But eventually it'll happen. And then we'll have a little bit of a housing crisis too at the same time. That's not a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying if you're an investor, this is when they make money. When things are at its worst, that's when you make money. It's the whole deal when blood is in the streets. So there you go. A little crypto corner for you there on the O Show. What else do we have here going on? I will now address Jason Tatum as Jason Tatum until he wins the championship. Yeah, that was bad last night, man. 6193 says, being up in New England, I was excited to find out the World Cup is coming here in Miami. Yeah, me too. I'll get into that in a few minutes. Rosendo says, forget driving, Big O. Beer is more cheaper than gas. Most people can just stay home and drink and not drive. Exactly. And with Liquor Split, you can have it delivered to your house. Great segment yesterday with Marcel. Keep educating people about that clown Kaepernick. Cubans don't want anything related to Castro. I mean, it's kind of the whole point was, don't tell me about social injustice and how people are being mistreated, and then you're wearing a Castro shirt. It's like, you know. And that's not who I am. If you listen to this show, I talk about injustices for all kinds of people. And that's why, and on this show, I'm not for Democrats and I'm not for Republicans. I'm for Americans. You know what I mean? That's just the way it should be. It's about all of us. And, we just have too much of the other stuff going on. Today marks the 50th anniversary that burglars tied to Nixon's campaign committee broke into the Democratic Party headquarters in the Watergate office. Yay, that's a great thing to celebrate. Nobody voted for Sleepy Joe. They voted against Trump. Very good. Very good. Sleepy Joe, we all know he was going to suck, just like Trump sucks. And it was just a matter of getting the orange man out. So Sleepy Joe is just a buffer to get to the next bum that the Democrats and the Republicans produce. That's all it is. I heard in the news of real estate companies are starting to let go of employees because the sale of houses is now starting to fall. Yeah, bro, it's only a matter of time, bro. It's only not that I want it to happen, but it's only a matter of time. It's just the entire world is, every financial market in the world is way down, is crashing. So it's not just finance, it's not just the stock market, it's not just crypto, it's not just what's going on with gas, it's not just what's going on with the supply chain. Eventually it has to trickle down to real estate. It's going to. And those of you, I thought about selling my home too, but we said, forget it. We've been together forever. It'll come back around again, and next time maybe we'll think of selling on the next go around and then get the hell out. But this time around, we'll hang in there because I know it's going to go back down. But then again, you sell, then where do you go? You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. And when you have a bunch of dogs, you just don't want to do that kind of stuff and pick up and go. What else do we have to talk about here on Le Programme, which we always are ready to talk about? By the way, a little Blue Chew. That's right, folks. Blue Chew. Yes, sir. All right, we want to get you to be a stud in the bedroom. And right now, maybe you're feeling like a little bit of a dud and you want to kind of pick it up a little bit. It's the weekend. How about this, folks? You want to get a little more confidence? Get Blue Chew, a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients in Viagra and Cialis, but it's in a chewable tablet and at a fraction of the cost. And in today's world, we need to save as much as possible. And you can take them anytime, day or night. So whenever you get that feeling, you got a little afternoon delight, you're ready to go. This way, you don't have to plan ahead or anything like that. You can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. Yes, sir. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. You can consult one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, you will receive a prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations. And you got to sit there with the doc and tell him about what's not happening in the bedroom, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you don't want to do that, man. All right. So all you got to do is go to BlueChew.com. No waiting in a pharmacy. The tablets are made in the U.S., prepared and shipped directly to your door in a discreet package. And like always, man, Blue Chew men everywhere are excited to see the postman when he shows up because your package has arrived, ready for your package. That's what it's all about, baby. And women are also going to love Blue Chew. So we got a special deal for you. Try Blue Chew right now. Use our promo code BIG. Oh, that's right. Check out. Just pay $5 shipping. BlueChew.com. The promo code BIG. Oh, and you get free shipping right now. All you get a 1 month supply for free. 1 month supply for free. All you got to do is use the code BIG O. It's a beautiful thing. BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank, of course, Blue Chew for sponsoring our program. Love that. All right, good stuff there. Omar Kelly is set to join us in a minute, I hope. Hopefully he will join us shortly. Congratulations to us, City of Miami. We made it, baby. One of 11 cities to be named a World Cup site. It's Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Kansas City, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Boston, Philly, and New York, New Jersey, and of course, Miami. How about that? Hard Rock Stadium. Joe Robbie years ago. I know somebody wrote it in the paper today. I forgot if it was Michelle or Greg, but Joe Robbie years ago, he was a Strikers owner, and so he was always a soccer fan. So when he built Joe Robbie Stadium to be multi-purpose for football, for baseball, and for soccer, and it has benefited in every way possible. When they wanted to test us for baseball, they can do it at the stadium. And that stadium has been now that site has hosted F1 races, tennis tournaments, Super Bowls, national championships, World Series, international soccer events, concerts. It's pretty amazing. And now the World Cup. I mean, that facility has turned into just an absolute gem and a diamond for us here in South Florida when you think of the rich history of Joe Robbie Stadium, now known as Hard Rock Stadium. Still say we should call it Joe Robbie Field at Hard Rock Stadium. I still feel like Joe Robbie has been disrespected and unappreciated overall for his vision and for what he did. And he sacrificed and he did things that nobody did back in those days. He built that on his own. He didn't move it. He could have left town. No, he built it on his own, and it cost him the franchise. His family ended up losing the franchise because of that. It's a shame, man. But again, a great moment for our community. We get to host a World Cup. I went to the Orange Bowl years ago for World Cup qualifying matches, I believe they were. When Nigeria was here and Argentina and all, and it was a blast to cover some of those events at the Orange Bowl. That was really, really cool. That was, I forgot what year that was, 96, I want to say, or something like that. I don't know. It was a long time. I'm old, man. Been around a while. But that's awesome. And in Canada, Vancouver and Toronto got it. And in Mexico, Monterrey, Guadalajara, and Mexico City for our Mexican friends out there, because we got plenty of Mexican friends that are watching the show and downloading the show on a daily basis. So thank you all, and our Canadian friends. Obviously, we got a ton of Canadian folks out there also watching and listening and downloading the show. So great stuff for North America to get the World Cup. It's a great moment, man. All right, let's get to another great moment, and that's the time we share with Omar Kelly and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is Omar Kelly. So, are you going to go to any World Cup games at the stadium?
I'm pretty sure that they will be nearly impossible to get tickets to.
Will they make you cover it, doggy? I mean, I'm sure they're going to recruit a couple of you guys. I know you hired Panizo. So Panizo can he's exceptional. He knows his shit. But they're going to have to hide, I'm sure will do it because he knows soccer. but they're probably going to recruit some of you guys, right? Somebody. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's somebody else. But
Sure.
right?
What
They would have
point
to,
is
right?
World Cup? Is it like this time of year?
Yeah, it's in the summer. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be vacationing.
Really?
I can promise you that. Yes.
You wouldn't put it off for something like that? Really? You wouldn't want to? You wouldn't be intrigued as a reporter to be able to cover a World Cup, dude? Really?
No, I'm good. I listen. You know what?
So you have no love for the sport. Actually, that's what it is.
Oh, I don't know. I have a level of curiosity for soccer.
Right.
I'm not a soccer guy like you.
Right. Right.
I have respect for it. In fact, I was at a brunch last Sunday and was watching some international soccer on television. Couldn't tell you who it was, but I realized they move like that's the first time I've really sat down and watched international soccer, and they move so much faster than MLS. And I was just like, whoa. Like now I could see what like the appeal to the sport is. Because if you think about it, like the only soccer you really get unless you want to wake up at ridiculous hours in the morning is what MLS and what comes on the Spanish channel.
Right. Yeah.
And
we all know Spanish channels. We just really want the telenovelas with the hot women. That's when we stop at the Spanish channels. Come on,
hey, bro, before I had cable,
let's all admit it. Hey, wow. Who's that? Wow, I don't understand a word she says, but man, she's smoking hot. And then the wife's coming in the room, and you're moving forward. I know what you guys are doing. I see you.
Hey, no, my dad is big into soccer, and he watches the Spanish soccer all the time. He watches.
Well, that's right, dude. You're Jamaican.
That's correct.
Holy shit, dude. Wait a minute. I don't think you're really Jamaican.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, no, you don't like soccer. I don't know, bro. Nah. You're distant Jamaicans, bro.
I've been Americanized. I like track and field. Does that qualify me?
Brother, I'm Cuban and born here. That's two strikes. Cubans don't like soccer, and Americans are for soccer, and I love soccer.
Listen, I have a great deal of respect for soccer.
I understand. You're a smart guy. You obviously understand billions of people watch.
It's the number.
Not even close.
At least it's the number one sport in the world. So
by miles and miles and miles and miles.
Yeah.
Somebody had the stat today that a couple 100 million watch the Super Bowl.
What I don't get,
2.3 billion are watching the World Cup.
What I don't get is why an MLS, and this is just me thinking out the box, because I was part of an MLB RBI program that put a baseball like coaches and facilities. And,
I remember.
And kept the field up. When I was growing up, I hated the game, but I played it because it was so incentivized for me to play it. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
And some of us did good and some of us didn't. I forget the great baseball player that came out of Carroll City.
Well, there's a couple. Danny Tartable. Are you talking about?
Danny Tartable. That's what it was. Yeah. And so I don't know why MLS doesn't put those kind of programs in South Florida communities. Like, are you telling me I live in North Miami Beach area? There are so many Caribbean and Haitian people here.
Yeah.
Are you telling me you can't put an MLS program, facility, field, coaches at one of those fields that goes year-round soccer?
Yeah.
And you'll get you tell me you won't produce like a great.
They're not there yet, doggy. I'll give you an example.
I'm talking.
I have this. I'm going to give it away. Part of my my KSDT Sports Business Report. MLS and Apple signed a 10-year deal.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, it's $250 million per season.
Yes.
Okay. When they have 28 teams right now, it'll be 30 teams very shortly. It's $8.3 million per team.
Better than the $3 million that they had.
But my point is, they're not making enough money to have those kind of programs.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. They're not. The NFL prints money,
so they can get the Yet deal.
I
and
get
then,
you, but
you know,
think macro instead of micro, and think about. Let's say you make a 10-year commitment in Little Havana, in North Miami, just South Florida. Put it in Lauderdale. 3 facilities. And this is not just the Miami MLS team. Just think about, and let's say you put one in Boston. Let's say you put one in Atlanta somewhere.
Yeah.
Think about the generations of kids that would grow up to love, appreciate, respect, pay attention to the #1 sport in the world if there's more of an investment in it, because
listen, let me piggyback on what you're talking about, because some people say, well, no, they have academies. Yeah, no. Academies require money, and they require parents to have a lot of money
and a lot of resources.
And that's the problem with soccer, hockey, and baseball. You got to have public programs where kids that don't have the money and the parents that don't have the money can go to these facilities, and you can then develop them, and they have an opportunity, and they lose out on the opportunity because they don't have parents that make enough money for them to be on travel soccer, travel
or parents
hockey,
who have the time to go take them to this facility. These people are working 2 jobs, they're driving cabs, and I hate the stereotype. But, like me, I used to, literally, my parents never took me to baseball practice. I used to walk my little happy ass down the street with my bat and ball or ride my bike. And those were 3 valuable hours a day that I really enjoyed and found something to do and kept me driven and kept me motivated for a sport I didn't even like.
Right. Yeah.
So imagine if it's a sport that you can enjoy and more people can play. And, I'm just thinking big picture here.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. It says the NFLPA is bracing for an unprecedented suspension for Deshaun Watson. What is that? What does that mean? I keep thinking an indefinite suspension is coming, because I think the NFL is going to say enough is enough. Settle everything, and then we can reinstate you, because the league, the team, everybody's going through hell because of this. You need to settle your stuff, and then we'll bring you back. I think an indefinite suspension is coming, but your thoughts on what this whole unprecedented stuff that they think is coming?
What's unprecedented? Have we had players suspended for an entire season for,
We have, haven't we?
Yeah, I think we have. So, I mean, are we moving into multiple seasons? Not to say that, as I've said to you, and I've said this on I Am Athlete tonight, at this point, the damage is done. Next week, there's going to be a 27th accuser coming forward. And then the week after that, there's going to be a 28th accuser. And the week after that, is going to be a 29th accuser. My over-under is probably 30. 30. I got to make it probably 29.5. This is about applying the public pressure that will make him cave and will make them pay. And whatever that settlement is per accuser, whether it's $40,000, $400,000, $500,000, and public opinion is that Deshaun Watson is guilty and he's sick and he's got a problem. Nothing is going to change that public opinion. Not a suspension, not a settlement. So the damage is already done. So why would you be in a rush to settle it if the damage is already done? It's not going to save your image. It's not going to lead to a reduced sentence or suspension. And even when you settle it, who's to say that another accuser won't come forward and continue this party, keep this party going? All of these accusers are under one umbrella, under the Busby umbrella. This could last forever. You might have to suspend him for an entire season. Not only with the mistake that I believe that the NFL commissioner made was that he didn't put him on the commissioner's list last year. That was a dummy move. That's
common sense, bro. That's common sense, dude.
I didn't get that.
That's why I think the indefinite is coming. That way there's no timetable.
There cannot be an indefinite. There just can't be.
Well, there can, because you could say it's indefinite until you fix your issues.
No,
So
you
it might take 2 months. It might take 2 months. It might take a year and 2 months. But whenever you fix it, then we can reinstate you. And that's it.
I mean, but are you ever really going to fix it? Because one accuser could just be not part of the class action suit, and
You are correct, but this is the problem that you have put yourself in. And so, are they supposed to tolerate all of this? You know what I mean? It's a bad look. The problem is what you just said. You didn't do the right thing the first time by putting him on the commissioner's list and put him on ice and just say, no, nobody can trade for him. Nobody can do anything. Let's wait till the legal things are done. Now you have allowed a team to make the trade. Hell, they even asked the Browns, are you afraid that this whole thing is going to get reversed and all that? And they were like, get out of here, whatever. And so you have allowed this mess to become an even bigger mess.
But keep in mind, it's not criminal. It's all civil.
Right. But the problem is you don't know if it leads to anything criminal, because now the new cases are not under what happened before with the grand jury.
Okay.
So Omar, all I'm saying is, as a league now, because you thought it was over and that's why you allowed this trade, and you thought now more cases are coming up. Since you don't know, are there more cases? Is there video? Are we going to run into Ray Rice Part 2, that a video all of a sudden shows up and it makes us look bad? So all I'm saying is, I think the indefinite is coming because they need to protect themselves overall. Image, corporations, money, all that other stuff that they really worry about. They don't really worry about the player or anything of that stuff. They don't really worry about women. They worry about the image. They worry about the corporate money,
marketability. Are we still worth $60 billion?
Yeah. And the Ray Rice thing, whether they knew about that video or not, right now they don't know everything in this case. So if some audio thing comes out, some text exchange between him and another one of a new accuser, that maybe there was something that he incriminated himself with, nobody knows. And that's why I think they said they're expecting something they've never expected before. And I've been saying indefinite now for the last week, because you have to protect yourself as a corporation from this mess. That's all I'm saying.
I'm at half a season to 12 games. I'm not sure they're going to suspend him for a full season, but if they did, oh well. It makes no difference to me. I definitely think he needs to be suspended.
Yeah, I mean, kid's got problems. There's no doubt in my mind that he's got problems, because when you're going for, at least the Jenny Ventris article is 66. Who knows if there's even more? But if you're going for 66,
you know what's interesting? You know what's interesting? We were doing an I Am Athlete show last week, and we were touching into the 66. Now, 66 in one city, that's extreme. But just talking to a professional athlete, like Brandon would get massaged every day, Brandon Marshall.
But probably by the same person.
No. There were
same 2 or 3 people, same rotation.
Yeah, and
they have to know your body, Omar.
Absolutely,
they know exactly where your hurts and your pains are.
No question about it. I feel bad about cheating on Tina. I still got to make it up to her.
Tina got a big old butt. I'm sorry,
but Douche, another one of the I Am Athlete guys, who's a defensive lineman, he said, "Yeah, I had to get at least 4 massages per week just to make it to game day." And sometimes, and then Brandon was like, when I go to a different city, Minnesota, I got to get a massage before the game.
Right.
So you're the high level of numbers for us as civilians is staggering. For a professional athlete, they still say that number is high. Should probably be more in the 20 to 30 range. But then again, Deshaun Watson said, yeah, that number doesn't seem legitimate.
Well, listen, nothing Deshaun Watson can say is believable, because he's a habitual liar, and so is his lawyer. They first said it was all about massages. And then when it came out about the happy ending, well, that could have happened. You know,
See-
and it was consensual. Everything they've said has been a lie
But
until they get
here's
busted.
the thing, Big O, and this was brought up, not even my point. This was brought up by Brandon Marshall on I Am Athlete Tonight. This is part of massage culture. This is part of, we have the New England Patriots owner who got videotaped having sex with a masseuse.
Yeah, that's not a massage. He was going for a happy ending.
I mean, okay, but happy ending.
Old man Kraft was not going for a massage.
But happy ending.
He went to an Oriental day spa. He know what he was doing.
I go to an Oriental day spa. I know,
and they love you long time.
I don't get happy endings. It's not every. Listen. But what I'm saying is,
by the way, there was a woman that walked by here in the lunchroom when I said Tina got a big old butt. God, I hope her name was not Tina. I was just thinking about that. Alan's going, oh no. I don't know her name, but I'm not sure. It might have been Tina.
Let's not pretend like happy endings is not part of massage culture. And not for everybody. Not for everybody. But what if this was what he was seeking out?
Oh no, there's no doubt he was seeking happy endings. He wasn't seeking massages. Okay, like I told you before, and you can tell Brandon Marshall and all that. When you're going, like an athlete is going for a massage, there's no sexual anything, because when they're going on that left shoulder of yours, it's all messed up. You're in pain while they're rubbing. Yeah. You're not getting aroused.
I like them to walk on my back.
Okay, when they're walking on your back, you're not getting sexually aroused. When you go for a happy ending massage, it's a happy ending massage. When you're going for a massage, it's because you have an injury, you have something that there's some knot in your body, and they're trying to work that thing out.
It's about release.
Yeah, but not that kind of release.
But so is a massage. It's about release of pain. So some people might correlate the two, bro. Some people might correlate the two.
No, what is release of pain? The other one is release of frustrations.
Some people might correlate the two. They just go together like this, bro. Link it up. And that's clearly, maybe, allegedly, seemingly what Deshaun Watson was into. Listen. Hey, I live my life the right way. I'm not getting happy endings in massage. And I'm not judging people who do.
Well, it's fine if you could. No, it's fine. Listen, I don't have a problem with that, dude. You want to go get a happy ending massage? That's your. Just don't bull crap me. Don't tell me that I'm going for a massage and then we know what you're really doing. It's just like, fine, dude, just do what your thing. But and here's the other thing. Hopefully whatever you're doing is all consensual, because that's the part that obviously sounds very disturbing in some of these stories.
Problematic.
Yeah, it's very problematic. It's very scary, man, to think of that. All right, quiet on the Dolphins front. It looks like the Connor Williams thing is a done deal, huh?
Oh, I told you that's a done deal.
Yeah, right.
That's a done deal about.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't no. This is exploration. No, this is what we doing, and I was cool with it. So,
yeah.
I just produced.
If it works, it becomes a better free agent move than it was initially. Because as you know, Omar, it's harder to fill that center position than guard. So if you can find a center, and especially with a young quarterback, holy crap, that's gold. It's gold.
I'm more comfortable with it now that I've seen it, and it doesn't look tragically bad, and it gives Liam Eichenberg a chance to really cement himself as a starter. And the line is big. It's big. It's very big. And I like that. And it's athletic.
It can move. I was going to tell you, while it's big, they can move, actually.
Yeah, they can move. So I'm open to it. I just produced a piece that actually got posted while we were talking for the Sun Sentinel. It's going to be a comparative piece. This is 10 reasons why the Dolphins will basically advance to the playoffs for the third time this decade, in the last 2 decades. And all the things that have to go right for this team, which are all fair and reasonable and achievable. As I've said to you previously, I think this is probably the deepest team that I've covered, most talented team. They've got stars. I can name you the top 10 players right now on this team, and they would be top 10 players on just about every team in the NFL. Majority of them, from Emmanuel Ogbah's, Xavier Howard's, Byron Jones, Jovan Holland, Mike Gesicki, Tua. Well, not Tua, but
Wait, what do you mean not Tua? Of course, Tua. Come on.
Tua's not. Come on, bro. Tua's not. Tua. I'm not.
Come on, bro. Tua, franchise, all world.
I'm not sure you.
34 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards this year. It's in the bank. We're ready to roll.
I don't think there's. I don't think you can name. You could pick him over. My bar is, would I pick him over who is the quarterback for that team? And I'm not sure Tua can beat out 16 other guys.
Okay, that's fine.
In the league. That no disrespect to Tua.
He's all good. We will convert all of you by the end of the year. It's all good. It's all good. You will be part of Tuanon by the end of the year.
Okay.
That's all. You won't be on the bandwagon.
No.
But what we're gonna, what we're gonna do for you anti-Tua people.
We're all gonna put you people.
You know how Milwaukee has the deer park outside of the arena? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna create a Tua park for you guys.
Does Milwaukee have a deer park?
Yeah, it's called Deer Park. Yeah, I understand, Omar. You really don't get out of the house and you don't leave football.
I don't like Milwaukee. I haven't been to Milwaukee. Listen, I haven't been to Milwaukee because I fly straight into Appleton, Wisconsin for my Green Bay game, sir.
Okay. Do you have you heard what they do outside the Toronto Raptors arena, the Jurassic Park? That's the same thing. We're going to create a Tua zone for you all, for all you haters, disbelievers, all that. So then once you believe, we'll leave you outside in the Tua zone, outside the stadium, and then the rest of us will be in the stadium on the bandwagon. That's all.
Enjoy.
And the Tua train will run right through you guys. So that way you guys can see it. Some of you will be under it, whatever, either way, but that Tua train will cut right through the Tua.
I love Tua, but if me blindly following him and ignoring all of his warts and making excuses for him is my requirement for being on the Tua train, I'm good with not being.
There are no warts. You are looking at a twisted mirror inside a carnival thing there. You're looking at one of those, what's those mirrors called in the fun houses? That's what it is. You've just got like a bent up mirror. That's the problem, bro. You're not.
All right, no worries.
You're not seeing it straight. Don't worry. We will convert you.
Top 8 quarterback in the NFL next year, right?
Top 10, but yes, he'll be top 10. It might be number 8, but yeah, he'll be top 10 next year.
All right, cool. We'll see.
No, I'm sorry. He'll be top 10 this year, not next year. What am I saying? Next year, Super Bowl. This year, top 10. Yes. Next year, we're in Arizona. We'll be in Arizona in February.
Jimmy G took a similar team to the Super Bowl, so let's go.
Except Tua's gonna hit Emmanuel over. I was gonna say Bert Emmanuel. He's gonna hit Emmanuel for the touchdown this time down the middle of the field. That's what's gonna happen there. All right, follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. Catch him at the South Florida Sun Sentinel, as always, doing his thing. And I Am Athlete tonight, right? 8:00, right?
No, I actually did my 2 shows earlier this week, so I'm good for the weekend. I got a Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you.
Well, thank you, sir.
I hope you don't have to work on the grill. I've never understood the concept of actually making fathers go on the grill for Father's Day. Like, that's not a reward.
That's true.
Do mothers have to cook on Mother's Day?
She shouldn't. I mean, if you make mother cook on Mother's Day.
Exactly. But Dad has to go on the grill for Father's Day. Like,
why? No, Dad's actually going on Father's Day to go see Styx, REO Speedwagon, and Loverboy is what Dad's going to do on Father's Day.
Okay. Enjoy, sir. Yes, and happy June 19th for new holiday, celebrating African-American freedom. Most people don't know it, but it's Sunday. But next year it'll be on Monday, and you'll be thankful. Not you, but the world. When it's a
Okay.
holiday.
Oh, okay. So it's a holiday. Okay.
Yeah, it's a new holiday. You didn't even pay attention to the new holiday. Black people got you.
Yeah. The problem is me and Sean work on all holidays.
Hey,
we have no holidays.
As do I. Most except for the months of June and July.
Right.
So yes.
There you go. All right, good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Center. Omar, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
All right, talk to you later.
You got it. There you go. Omar Kelly.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843. When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411, and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Sloman's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. Licensed roofing contractor. 100% financing is available. Go to Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Sir, we're back. Hour number 3 of the program, coming to you live from the KSDT CPA offices. My man Alan Kinkle is ready to go. He is there with us here, as always, making it nice and easy for us to broadcast every single month. How you feeling, man? How you?
I'm feeling good.
You're looking relaxed there.
You got to make yourself comfortable.
Bring the mic up.
You got to make yourself comfortable. You know. Got to get in the mood here. So we appreciate you guys coming out. We're always excited to have you guys here. It's a good time. it's always good when you can talk sport and call it work.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So everybody around here is doing taxes and filing. I'm the marketing guy, so I get to come in and talk sports and serve some beverages, and I call it a day. So,
by the way, how crazy was it here in April?
you know
down the
what?
stretch?
It's crazy, but we're busy year round. We're busy year round because we serve kind of the business market.
Mhm.
So we have the individual returns, but it's busy year round because when they're not filing the taxes, they're consulting, they're preparing for next year, they're out there working with clients and how can we make you better, so it's consulting, it's advisory, it's tax. So we stay busy. We try to smooth out the peaks and the valleys. So, like old school accounting from January to April, people go in and you don't see them. And then March, May, they're lying on the carpet in recovery in a fetal position.
But you guys do a ton outside of the taxes. So that's why
we do a
year
ton,
round
but-
you're busy.
But we've done a good job of kind of planning, scheduling, hiring the right people. So we stay busy all year round. We have some peaks, but we try not to just burn people out. And then because, old school accounting was you burned them out January to April, you didn't see them the whole summer. And then you brought them back in it's just these real highs and lows, but we just stay busy all year round. So that's kind of a good thing,
This is I'm so glad I have you on because we are facing so much going on in our economy, and some
Scary.
of the some of
Scary
the
stuff out there.
some of the stuff is out of our control. Some of the stuff is in our control, but we as consumers and residents and taxpayers are being affected by the stuff that we can control or we can't control. So one of the things that you guys do here at KSDT CPAs, so for those of you out there, because you think, oh, well, it's just filing in April and then I'm done. No, but you guys do a lot of guidance.
Absolutely.
So give us some guidance right now, how you're guiding your clients right now because of the unknown coming up. The Fed's just dropped a 3/4 point. There's another 1/2 or 3/4 point coming.
Right.
Some will tell you they might even go a little higher than that
Scary
after that.
times.
Recession could be coming. Obviously, all markets are down. The housing market might start getting affected now. What is the vision that KSDT CPAs have
Yeah.
right now? What are you telling your clients on how to plan for the future right
Absolutely. I say disclaimer, I'm not a CPA. That's the guys here. But we talk to our clients. It's everything in life is a plan, right? So when you can plan for the ups and downs, you can ride the highs, but you can mitigate the lows, right? So a lot of business owners, they're still dealing with the supply chain issue. Just like in COVID, cash is king, managing the inventory, the cash, are you be able to facilitate that? So we sit down with our clients and we talk to them about planning, or do you have the right staff? Do you have the right inventory? Can you handle your payroll? And so it goes beyond the tax. And a lot of it is education. Like COVID was one of the times that really highlighted the ability to just have a conversation with your client, right? Because before it was you get a bunch of documents, plug in some numbers, here's the check, here's what you owe.
They're off and running.
Off and
They're so
running.
busy.
But
You're
COVID
busy. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But COVID was the first time that mature companies that are 5 generations, companies that are like, we're on autopilot, came to a screeching halt. They were like, we don't have cash. We don't have inventory. We don't have staff. We're shut down. And so our firm, kind of like a lot of firms, we became kings at education, right? Having conversations with the clients. What is out there? What are your options? What can you do? Like one of the banners that we have on your show is the employee retention credit, right? And again, I'm not the CPA. You gotta call in and talk to some of our folks. But what it is all these laws that got passed in the last couple of years, the CARES Act and the American Rescue Act and things like that, pumped money into the economy. But they also were really small business focused. So a couple of years ago, you heard about the Paycheck Protection Program. That was in an effort to keep people on the payrolls, right? A lot of that was meant to time itself out. December 31st, 2020. COVID, the pandemic extended itself. So there's been a lot of laws that have extended. They didn't sunset themselves. So there's money out there. Like we do a lot of work with small businesses that got paycheck protection loans, and they don't know that they could come back in do other things like employee retention credit and things like that, where because you kept people on the payroll, you can actually get money back for just it's a refund. It's really just
Sure.
stroking a check for because you kept people employed. Like, obviously, there's some criteria and eligibility. You got to talk to the folks, but it's kind of found money, right? So we have clients out there that are getting $500,000, $1 million, $1.5 million of found money that they didn't know just by doing the paperwork, just by
Right.
doing the legwork. The reason why a lot of people don't know about it is it's kind of that no man land where it's a payroll function. So a lot of payroll providers don't do taxes. A lot of tax folks don't do payroll. So it's kind of in that gray area. So you got to kind of partner those folks up. We kind of handle both here. So we're making the knowledge of it and we're reaching out to clients. Have you done this? Have you done XYZ? And a lot of them were like, well, I got the paycheck protection. You're like, in 2020, you were correct, but they extended the law. You can get both.
Right.
And so we're helping clients. And so go back to your question, how do you hedge a downturn? How do you hedge recession? Decisions, planning. If you can get a little extra cash in your pocket to run your business, run your payroll, it kind of helps you mitigate the down.
And by hiring people like you, that everybody in this building that actually knows the laws,
Right.
It's kind of like what I went through with Welton Rayom, our attorneys, our law firm that's with us. My wife was getting the runaround from the insurance company from some accident, and I said, "Sweetheart, it's over. Let's give it to the lawyers.
Yeah.
They will deal with them because they know the laws. They're going to take advantage of you. And right now, you want to take advantage of what's going on.
Absolutely.
You need to know the laws. Hiring KSDT CPAs. That's how you get the
exactly
advantage.
Right. And to give an analogy, like if you got medical problems, your general practitioner is a good doctor, knows what they're doing, but they don't specialize in the heart or the foot. Sometimes you got to reach out to the people, and it's a function of time and complexity that you may have an accountant or a lawyer that is amazing, but they have a niche, they have a market. So sometimes you may have to kind of go out there. So we're kind of at that right size where we have enough people that somebody here knows something about somebody.
Right.
So not everybody's the jack of everything, but we have someone at our arm's distance that you got to go call George, you got to call Jeff, or you want real estate, you got to go call Rob. So like we've built a good team here that somebody has a niche at something. Right. So,
well, even crypto, by the way, as you
absolutely.
all know,
Yoandri. So last week you talked to George, and George is such a depth on the bench because of his experience. But he also knows when he's got to call somebody else and say, "Hey, I know, but I gotta find a little bit more. I got to dig a little deeper. So let's bring in Rob, or let's bring in somebody else." So we have a deep bench, and that I think that's what makes people happy, is that we don't just throw our hands up. We got resources that we go to. So
from professional planning, from personal planning, you want to call KSDT CPAs. You want to find out how you can take advantage of some of the things that are going on right now that are really affecting your life, affecting your business. If you're purchasing a business and you want to make sure that business, what they're selling you, is making the kind of profits they're telling you, and it's producing the way, you can have KSDT CPAs help you, and they'll tell you, yes, this is the right plan. You can make money with this business. So reach out. How do they reach out to the folks out here at KSDT?
There's numerous ways. You can follow us on all the social channels, website, KSDTCPA.com. Call our phone number 305-670-3370. We'll put you in contact with somebody. And kind of what you talked to George a couple weeks ago, he said it perfectly in the sense that it's about having a conversation. Like, be honest with your doctor, be honest with your attorney, call somebody, have a conversation. They'll tell you it's a good thing. Like we kind of teach some of our younger folks here, where we say, "What do you do?" And they go, "I do taxes." And I'm like, it's too broad. It's too generic. People don't know what you're talking about. You ask questions back. Well, do you own a business? Where are you at in your business? Because maybe I can't do tax work for you, but you want to sell your business. Well, we do mergers and acquisitions.
There you go.
Or maybe you're looking to go to the next chapter in your life and start another, like there's just different levels of your business. And we kind of help somebody from a startup to the exit strategy and everywhere in between, whether that's tax work or not, that's fine. But it's really just kind of partnering with businesses and going on the journey with them. And we've had a lot of companies that we started with them and now they're multi-million-dollar, organizations, and we've grown up with them, and vice versa. So it's that relationship,
Alan, thank you, my brother. Are
course.
you, by the way, are you pumped about the Dolphin
I'm a
season?
little bit pumped up. I heard you getting everybody riled up.
I'm trying.
It's one of those that in any sport, it's all about injury-free, because you can start day one, everybody looks good on paper, injury season's so
Yeah, a little luck.
the health of everybody, a little luck. Give the guy the time to throw. If you give him the time to throw, they can make stuff happen.
Right.
Because these guys are all professionals. So you just give them that extra half a second, opens up the field, you make magic happen. You got to let them do their job.
I'm with you.
So hopefully everybody stays injury free and we can get on the bandwagon.
All right, give them the number one more time for KSDT.
305-670-3370.
And by the way, offices in Dayland and in Weston.
And
so just in case you're in Broward and Palm Beach, you're going, man, they're all the way in Dayland. Well, they can go to Weston. But hey, you can do everything pretty much by phone and video.
We'll connect to you via Teams or Zoom. We'll find a way to connect to you.
Yeah, today you can connect many, many ways. Alan, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Excited to have you guys here. Have a good one.
You got it, man.
Take care.
Always love being here. Thank you, Alan.
All right.
Cameron Wolf will be joining us in about 14 minutes with our KSDT CPAs, Miami Dolphin, and NFL report. We'll have a little fun with him. We got soccer back on Sunday. I'm looking forward to that, man. Inter on the road, taking on Atlanta. I like that. I also like to do a little, I gave you one liquor split matchup of the night. Well, I'm going to give you the second one, and we are 5-0 in our liquor split matchups of the night. I'm helping you get out of this recession that's coming. I'm helping you in these dips. 5 straight liquor split matchups of the night. We already gave you what we thought in the hockey game. Let's give you our liquor split matchup of the night for Sunday with Inter Miami and Atlanta.
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the liquor split matchup of the night.
All right, not one, but 2 liquor splits today. And this one is for Sunday. And Sunday, Inter Miami hits the road. They are going to visit the Atlanta United. And right now, the United is favored by 1.5 goals. The over and under is 2.5 goals. Inter Miami is plus 520 in the money line. Atlanta is minus 208 in the money line. And I was thinking about this. There's been some time off. You may have some players out. Inter Miami has been playing better football as of late. Now, Atlanta has one hell of a home field advantage, but this year, that's not the case. They packed the house, but they're actually 2 points behind Inter Miami in the tables. So they've got, I believe Miami has 18 points. They have 16, if I remember off of memory. But I know they're 2 points behind Inter Miami. So I'm thinking about this. I'm going, well, why can't Miami even win this game? So I'm going to actually take Inter Miami plus 1.5 goals in this game. So I'm thinking, huh? I'm sorry? The streak was good. I'm taking plus 1.5. That doesn't mean that, I'm not saying that they're going to win. I'm just saying I'm taking 1.5 goal, okay? Now, remember, I was rooting for the Lightning, and I took 1.5 goals, and they lost, but I won by half a goal. So I'm thinking that Inter makes it. I was really going with the over of 2.5, but I think I think they will hit the 3, actually, because I think Miami's going to score, and so will Atlanta. I don't think there's going to be a 0-0 type of game. But I think even Inter has a chance of winning this game. Atlanta hasn't played that well. And it's not, I know Inter Miami is not this great team, but Atlanta is no great shakes. And Inter Miami plus 520 in the money line. Wow. They are getting zero respect in Vegas. But you know what? I'm going to give them enough respect. I'm going to take the 1.5. Inter taking on Atlanta on Sunday. That's your liquor split matchup of the night.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download then tap that app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
Alrighty. Mike No Go Zones, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, good afternoon, Big O. Want to send out a shout out to FIFA for selecting Miami to be one of the host cities for the World Cup in 2026. I love that. Thank you, sir, and thank you for the love on the super chat. Frankie Fresco says U.S. academies don't have investors to succeed. Thank you, Frankie, for the love on the super chat. But it's what Omar says. It would be nice if you can create that. The problem is that the MLS isn't producing that kind of money to create that. The good thing is we at least have enough kids playing that we have a pool of talent to come from. But man, it would be nice to give every kid the opportunity to play the beautiful game. That's for sure. C. Dola says, my rent just went up $200, better than I thought, actually. Shaking my head. Damn. Mike No Go Zone says, I went grocery shopping and filled up my gas tank on the same day, almost had a heart attack. Yeah, man, it's expensive, dude. Dolphins will beat the Bills the third week, but Bills win at the end of the season, says Vivian Martin. Vivian, do you have the numbers to the lottery since you're already way ahead of us? Since you know they're going to win in the first month of the season and then they're going to lose at the end, I need lottery numbers, okay? If you could get me the lottery numbers and I can win the lottery, Vivian, then I don't really have to worry about life itself anymore. And we could just, put this show somewhere in some kind of a tropical island and just, broadcast from there every day. You good with that? Okay. All right. Just got to check, make sure Sean's all good. Cause I don't know. He may not like tropical islands. What can I do? Guy doesn't like tropical islands, doesn't want to rest and relax. I can't do anything about that. So I'm glad that you do, by the way, like tropical islands. So thanks to all of you out there. Remember, you can always also make a donation through Cash App and Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Always appreciate all of you out there. Let's see. What else do I have that I wanted to talk about here on the program? Marlins, by the way, are back in action. Citi Field tonight, taking on the Mets. Carlos Carrasco is on the mound for the Mets. I did not see who the Marlins were pitching when I was preparing in the morning. Did you see it? Neither did you, right? I don't know. I don't know who they were putting up. Maybe Mish or somebody on the beat, Jordan McPherson or somebody has put it out there on Twitter. But at the moment, I don't know who the Marlins are actually pitching tonight. Let me see if Craig, I'm looking at his Twitter page and see if he's got anything here. No, he's got nothing from hell. It's like 2 days ago, the last time he put it in there. All right, what else do we have here? Let's see. I'm looking at the Twitter feed here. Obviously, we got a lot of people. Some of you out there were all freaking out with still undecided. Yeah, that's what I saw this morning. Undecided. David Dwork is on the course, and he goes, just found a $5 chip on the golf course. Only thing I got to go to is Atlantic City to cash it in. That's funny. That's funny. I like that. That is funny. All right, so Marlins back in action. NFL PA is bracing for an unprecedented suspension for Deshaun Watson. I read that, and I'm wondering what the hell does that mean, Right now, if you listen to the show for the last week, I've talked about that I expect them to suspend Deshaun Watson on an indefinite basis. And why do I say that? Because as the cases pile up, some of them now may be investigated. Some of them may also be heard before a grand jury, because the other 22 were, but not the 23rd and 24th. And what happens with 25 and 26 and 27 and 28 if it comes up? So remember what happened with Ray Rice. Whether the league knew or not, I don't know. But they had a 2-game suspension, and then the video came out. And then the video put them in a completely different light, and it was an ugly one. So this doesn't stop becoming a bad story. So when you hear that, according to reports, the Players Association is bracing for an unprecedented punishment to be levied against Watson for violation of the league's personal conduct policy. What the hell is going on with my lips? According to the report, the NFLPA's defense for Watson will point out the NFL's double standard for its owners. And the NFL, by the way, whether they do this or not, I don't know. Okay. But this is the unknown. And that's the problem right now. And they're putting themselves in a position that if they say 6 games, and then what happens if a video comes out? What happens if audio comes out? What happens if damning texts come out? And we don't know if it exists or not. And that's why I think the league is going to say there's too much unknown here. We don't want to get caught again one more time like we did with the Ray Rice situation. Deshaun, we're going to have to suspend you for an indefinite period of time. When you have resolved your legal issues and they're all resolved, then we will let you back in and you will now be able to move on. That way, the NFL, your teammates, and you don't have to continually answer something that seemingly looks like it's endless. Because we don't know with these new cases, what's the next part of the investigation for that? And does the grand jury then indict? Do any of these 2 new women have some kind of evidence that the others have not been able to produce? Because so far, what has saved Watson in the he said, they said situation is that it's he said, they said. There has been no video, there has been no pictures, and there has been no damning text. So once that shows up, if it ever does, and that creates even bigger problems for the league. And I think the league is going to go in the indefinite direction now. We'll see. We'll see. When you talk about unprecedented, it might be what I've been thinking about for the last week. Indefinite. We shall find out, ladies and gentlemen, what happens with Deshaun Watson and the NFL and this crazy ass investigation. All right, let's get to Cameron Wolf, baby, and our KSDT CPA Miami Dolphin and NFL report.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All right, it is time to unleash the Wolf Pack. There he is, ready to go. So when you hear that the NFLPA is bracing for an unprecedented call by the NFL in the Watson case, what does that say to you, my man?
It puts a year on the table. I think that's, even more possibly. I think that coming in, a lot of people.
Why not indefinite? Why not indefinite? That way, it could be 3 months or it could be a year and 3 months. Indefinite.
So I heard you talk about indefinite before. The problem with indefinite, and I actually was in LA asking people about that this week, is that if you remember, Ray Rice got suspended indefinitely after the video came out of him assaulting his girlfriend or wife at the time. And if what people don't remember about that case is they took it to a federal judge, and the judge ruled that it was against the CBA to indefinitely suspend a player for that length of time. So he ended up getting back pay for all the money that he was suspended for that period of time. And so that's how the commissioner's exempt list came about, saying you don't have enough evidence to put somebody on it, then you put them on the exempt list for a paid leave, essentially. And so
by
they
the way,
don't want to do that with this
back
Deshaun
pay is
Watson.
only $1 million. Back pay is only $1 million. He set it up that way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I'm telling you why I don't think it'll be indefinite. I think they'll either put a concrete amount of time on it, whether it's a year, like Calvin Ridley, his gambling situation, put a year on it, right? And so they could have said, oh, we're suspending him indefinitely. I think before they might have done something like that so we figure it out. Now they put a set timetable and they say, we'll reevaluate after that period. Doesn't mean that we're going to for sure reinstate you, but they can say we're going to suspend you for at least a year, and then this time next year we'll reevaluate to see if you're ready, ready to lift the suspension at that point. So I would think that's a possibility. And speaking with people out in LA, I think that they've thought that's a possibility as well. So maybe that's the bracing for an unprecedented suspension, because although we all know what Deshaun Watson did is despicable, when you look at the legal parameters of it, there hasn't been a lot of situations where a player has been suspended for that long a time without being, actually prosecuted for a crime. So I think that, if that does happen, that shows just sort of the significance of all these women coming about, and that they're, it's just not okay just to say, okay, we're going to slap on the wrist for 4 games and just keep it moving.
So you saw Tyreek Hill's comments, obviously positive about Tua and his situation, all that good stuff, and then you saw the rebuttal from Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes, which was very classy. A lot of love for Tyreek Hill and all of that. And kind of they were understanding what Tyreek was trying to accomplish in a way, also at the same time. So let me ask you something: who's going to miss who most?
That's a good question.
Mahomes will miss Tyreek, or Tyreek will miss Mahomes?
I think to an extent they'll both miss each other, but I do think that maybe the Chiefs are underselling the value of Tyreek Hill for that offense. And so I think Patrick Mahomes will miss Tyreek a little bit more. Because if you remember, Tyreek Hill was a Pro Bowl receiver with Alex Smith as his quarterback. He didn't just become this guy when Patrick Mahomes arrived on the scene. And while Patrick Mahomes has been a quarterback, he's always had Tyreek Hill. So we've never seen Patrick Mahomes without Tyreek Hill. So that's the unknown that's sort of going to be there. And the thing about Tyreek Hill, he's the most dangerous weapon in the field because his speed. And so defenses have to game plan about that. And so even if he isn't producing with his catches, he opens so much up for Travis Kelce. He opens so much up for, Mecole Hardman or whoever else they have out there. And so I think you're going to be missing that true deep threat. And I think defenses are going to play Patrick Mahomes a lot differerently. Like, I think the dude's a really special quarterback, but people forget at times last year, teams will play a lot of 2 deep man and force him to think and make processing decisions. And that's when they ran into a lot of the interceptions and struggles. And so I do think that the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes will struggle early in the season, at least without Tyreek Hill. I think that Tyreek will be fine with Tua. I think he'll still be a top 5 receiver, and I think he'll still be a Pro Bowl caliber player.
I agree with you, by the way. I do think that Tyreek is going to have a hell of a year with Tua. But on the flip side, I will give Mahomes credit for what he did say, which is very true, and you just said it yourself, actually, in a way.
Yep.
He talked about how that offense under Andy Reid has hummed forever. Yep. And it doesn't matter if you're Donovan McNabb, and it doesn't matter if you're Alex Smith, or if it doesn't matter if you're Pat Mahomes. Most quarterbacks have had success with that guy because he is one of the great offensive minds. Right. Of our sport. So, and again, to Mahomes' credit, which I love the way he answered it. He said the offense is bigger than any one player, including myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? And by the way, you can't argue with those points because Andy Reid is one of the 5 best offensive coordinators in the NFL in the last 25 years. And that's not up for debate.
Yeah, might be top 3.
Yeah, right.
Might be
For
top 3.
sure.
I
For
mean,
sure, top
I mean,
3. But I just didn't want to get into, because the text
Yeah.
line starts going crazy. It's like, whatever.
But no, you're absolutely right. Like I said with Alex Smith, people forget they were a top 10 offense with Alex Smith, and everybody talks about Alex Smith as he's a game manager. He's not this and that. Well, in the Chiefs offense, they were winning the division. They were one of the top 10 scoring offenses with that led offense. And so yeah, Andy Reid's a big piece of the pie. The dude is special. The dude is Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay before Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. Just a little bigger. There's 2 of them combined in size, but still the same prowess as far as the intelligence, and maybe more. So I think that as a whole, the Chiefs will be fine. I still think that they're one of the 2-3 best teams in the league, but I could see them, especially month 1 and month 2, struggling early as they try to figure out that identity and how to stretch defenses out without Tyreek Hill. That takes time. You can't just insert a rookie and say, oh, well, you filled the Tyreek role and we'll be fine. You're going to change your offense. You're going to shift. They've been bringing a lot of bigger receivers, so they're going with size over speed. And so how does that change their offense? What type of plays do they run differently? How do defenses defend Mahomes? And so those are elements that I'm eager to see about the Chiefs early on this season. So I do think it makes an impact, but does it make them like all of a sudden, easy force to stop? No way. Not with Mahomes and not with Reid.
Okay. I want to apologize ahead of time because I'm going to ask you something that's probably unfair to answer, but I'm going to still ask you for the answer.
Let's do it.
Because I'm intrigued to see how you're thinking, because a lot of people, those of you that are watching, and that's what my job is, to make you think at times about certain things. So
right.
The narrative was, hey, CJ Treader, right? No, JC Treader. Okay, JC Treader. Hey, we're not sure if this kid at center can get it done. All this and that. Is Michael Dieter the answer? We don't know. So now we have found out, which I thought it was an experiment, but it's not. It is a commitment now to Connor Williams at center. So here comes the unfair question. So has the concerns of center left your mind? And if they have, where have the concerns gone to? In what direction on the offensive line for you? Or are you still concerned about center and a certain other positions on the offensive line? How has that now changed how you think? Because the narrative was, hey, Dieter's all right. He wasn't terrible last year, but JC Treader's still an upgrade. Okay, JC Treader's not in the mix. Dieter's now a backup center and challenging guard. Okay, so how does Cameron Wolf feel right now about the Dolphin offensive line? Did they make progress at center, or is there too much unanswered at this point for you?
Yeah, Big O, I'm still concerned at center. Just being real with you. I still am concerned at center. I think I am not a fan of signing a player and moving him positions. We have not seen Connor Williams play center in a regular season game. That's the experiment. Although they're full in on that, this could completely blow up in their face. And so I'm absolutely concerned. It could work. I get some of the logic. He's athletic. You think there's more upside in a Connor Williams than you may see in Michael Dieter. Michael Dieter will probably always be kind of what he was last year at his best. Connor Williams, maybe you get a diamond in the rough and he turns out to be a really good center, but he also could be terrible and he could be benched by week 5 and you're back at Michael Dieter.
Or move to guard.
Exactly. So that would not shock me at all. And I've said this to you. I'm more concerned about the offensive line at this point than I am about Tua. I know that there's a lot of conversation about it. And Tua, don't get me wrong, Tua is going to decide a big portion of whether this team gets to where they want to go. But my concern is you're putting together a lot of pieces on the offensive line. You're trying to teach them a new scheme. And you're still counting on a lot of young players who haven't proven much of anything. And so, yes, their development will be great with new coaches, but none of that is a guarantee. And so I'm concerned at center. I'm concerned at right tackle. Austin Jackson, that he's going to get the first shot at trying to win that job. And nothing I've seen from Austin Jackson so far in his career gives me confidence that
Right.
that I should be confident at that position. Maybe he's better at right tackle than left tackle. Maybe the new zone scheme helps him. But those are a lot of maybes. And I'm betting a lot of maybes, and I don't feel comfortable with maybes. And
Right.
so those are the two spots that I probably feel the most queasy about. They're going to be good at left tackle with Teron Armstead. As long as he's healthy, he's good there. Robert Hunt is going to be a stalwart there. I think he's their second best offensive lineman. You plug him in at right guard, and you're fine. You're going to, maybe it's Liam Eichenberg at left guard. If he's there, he's still a little bit of a question too, but I liked a lot more of what I saw from Liam Eichenberg in college than maybe I saw from Austin Jackson in college. And so I'm a little bit more optimistic of him, especially moving inside, than I am with Austin Jackson. So my comfort level would be medium to high concern on both center and right tackle, and then maybe a little bit less concern at left guard. And I think they're fine at the other two spots.
Man, you went Joe Philbin on me. You went a little queasy. Oh
Yeah.
man,
And I'm keeping it real with you, Big O. Like I'm not.
you went Joe Philbin on me. Holy moly! Do you know about that history? That was a line of his. Yeah, that was a line of his. I'm getting a little queasy, and so the word queasy and Joe Philbin are like it's hand in hand, bro. So whatever you say queasy, that is all Joe Philbin. All right, sounds to me like you're vacationing. You're really not working on ESPN. You're only working on the Big O radio show, right? Is that what it sounds like?
Well, I never work at ESPN now.
I mean,
so
I'm sorry,
work at
NFL Network. Damn it, I'm doing this.
It's all good.
God!
It's all good. But I am actually pulling up to FAU now to speak to some young sports broadcasters and making middle school and high school kids, and for some reason they want advice from me. I don't know why. They couldn't. I guess they couldn't.
Can I
find
pass
someone
on
better.
advice? Can I pass on advice to you to pass on to them?
Yeah.
Stay away from radio.
Stay away from radio.
Stay away from radio. Okay,
Right.
it's become like the newspaper business. It's getting destroyed. It's disappearing. Stay away from radio, kids. Okay,
Right.
go to
I'll let 'em know.
websites, go to blogs, go to TV. Do not go to radio. Just don't ruin their lives, bro. I mean, the next
Right.
thing you're going to tell them to go to newspapers?
Oh no,
right?
no.
Exactly.
No.
Don't tell them to go to
No
radio.
newspapers, no newspapers, no radio. Right.
Platforms, not
Gotcha.
radio. Platforms. Okay.
I'll let them know.
Yes. Help
I'll let
those
'em know.
kids
So-
out, bro. I mean,
I will.
All right.
I will. So yeah, that's how I'm spending my Friday, and then
Good for you.
eventually I'll take some vacation, but no, not yet.
Good for you. Karma's good. You give good karma, you get good karma in return. So I'm proud of you for that. Follow him on
Absolutely.
Twitter at Cameron Wolf. As always, exceptional man, exceptional family man, and exceptional insider for us every single week on the platform in our KSDT CPA Insider Report. Cam, have a great weekend, my friend. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Big O. Have a good one.
You got it. There you go. That is Cameron Wolf. The Wolf Pack has been unleashed.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right, we are back. Thanks to Cam. Appreciate that. By the way, if anybody wants to give me like the ultimate present on the show, okay, you fly me out to Los Angeles and you get me a ticket. All right, I'll go with you. Just get me a ticket for the Foo Fighters Taylor Hawkins what is it? Tribute concert. That's what it's called. Did you see this? Oh my God. I would love to go to this thing. I wish I could afford to go right now because it's short notice and all that stuff. But this was awesome. I saw this as I was preparing. We gave you the London concert. Now they announced who's going to be in Los Angeles, and the lineup is absolutely sick for it. Let me see if I can actually find it here. in my prep sheet, which I thought I had it here, but let me see. Oh, yes, here we go. Foo Fighters announced their lineup for the Los Angeles tribute concert for Taylor Hawkins. It'll take place September 27th. It includes Stuart Copeland of The Police, Kiss co-founder Gene Simmons, Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson of Rush, Red Hot Chili Peppers Chad Smith, Queens of Stone Age Queens Brian May and Roger Taylor, Wolfgang Van Halen, Chris Chaney, Omar Haken, Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, Mark Ronson, Alanis Morissette, Luke Spiller, Rufus Taylor, John Theodore, Brad Wilk, Pat Wilson, and Chevy Metal. Okay? That is amazing. It's better than the lineup. In London, they have Liam Gallagher, which they don't have here, and Dave Chappelle. I hope Dave Chappelle comes to Los Angeles. But it's really not. I'm not there to go see Dave Chappelle. And they do have Chrissy Hine, which you're not going to get the magic, the beauty, the incredible voice of Chrissy Hine, whose voice is just absolutely immaculate. But my Lord, any of you out there in Southern California, you lucky bastards, you get to go to that concert in the LA Forum. That is going to be awesome, man. And the acoustics there. I know you're not a big concert guy like I am. You're not a concert guy at all. Actually, your girl is a concert person. She likes music more than you do. But I'm a connoisseur. I'm not just a guy that loves to go see live music. I am very critical of the venue that is going to be at it. And the LA Forum and Madison Square Garden. I haven't been to every arena in this country or in the world. But from the ones that I've been in this country, acoustically, my favorite arenas are the LA Forum and Madison Square Garden. LA Forum's number one. Number one. Anytime there's a band that I like and I can afford to go, I will fly over there just to go see them at the LA Forum. I've seen U2 there for a couple of nights. I've seen the Eagles. I've seen Iron Maiden. All kinds of acts I've seen out in Los Angeles. But at the Forum, I've seen a few, and that is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, so looking forward to that. I hope they put a video together so at least I can watch it. If I can't be there, I would love to watch it. All right. When sports and business collide, we like to do something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. One of the biggest treats I would imagine for any athlete would be to grace the cover of Wheaties. And, you can be on magazines and all kinds of stuff. Cereal boxes aren't something that's normal, right? Only one cereal box is really known for putting a face on there and it becoming iconic, right? And you know that once you've made it there, that means that you are one of those athletes that has impacted sports like no other. Whether you're Michael Jordan, right, gracing that cover. Although I remember we got our Wheaties one for the Canes. The Miami Heat when they won the championship in Dallas. They actually came in there and gave us each a Wheaties box. I still have the Wheaties box, and it's signed by them too. So it's actually pretty cool. So it was a limited a number of boxes that they made specifically for that, and it was really cool that you're able to at least enjoy, the moment. And they kind of captured that moment with, of course, a Wheaties box. Well, Simone Biles
is going to grace the cover of Wheaties. How cool is that? She has been chosen as the next athlete to grace the cover of Wheaties. And it goes like this. The gymnast was all smiles when she announced that her photo would grace the third and final box of the Wheaties Century Collection series, which also includes Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan as part of their 100th anniversary celebration. She's there with Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali. Like I told you, you know, when you're a Mary Lou Retton and you go to the Olympics and dominate the way you do, and you end up on that box, it's special. And she says, I'm honored to share with you that I'm joining a very unique club in landing my first Wheaties box. A happy-looking Biles said in a recent video on Instagram announcing the milestone. I'm thrilled to be on the third and final box of this series, proudly representing today's athletes and what it meant to be a Wheaties champion. And she says, as Biles explained throughout her cereal history, the orange box, the boxes have featured a rotating cast of athletes who do their best to try and go above and beyond their sport and also give back to the world, including her hero, Serena Williams. Growing up, I looked up to Dominique Dawes and Serena Williams. It's always important to see someone who looks like you succeeding, and to share the title of Wheaties champion with them means the world to me. Gymnast Dawes graced the box, the whole Wheaties flakes in 96. Williams did so in 2019. And I want to encourage everyone to be the best version of themselves and pursue their dreams. Keep an eye out in stores for this box, which is out this month, and keep an eye out for more exciting updates from me and Wheaties later this summer. And, you know, she has slayed it, man, as just an absolute superstar athlete, one of the greatest gymnasts that we've ever seen. Just really, really cool. It's these are the kind of people you want to put up there and set a representation for kids out there. And it's not easy, man. It's not easy to be Simone Biles. It's not easy to be Greg Louganis. It's not who's Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Derek G. It's not easy being these kind of athletes, dude. When you got to you're Louganis and you're going to that diving board and you've been perfect and you got to continue to be perfect. You know what I mean? It's not easy, man. I remember Jackie Joyner-Kersee, how she would come back from one Olympic to another and then have to live up to her own greatness. You know what I mean? It's these kind of people are special when they can live up to that pressure on a consistent basis. And it's not one, not two, but sometimes it's 3 Olympics. And you're blown away how they can maintain, how Carl Lewis can do what he does, you know, year in and year out, one Olympic after another, and maintain that level. And Simone Biles has been that person again, all the time. Definitely really cool. That is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Reports.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
By the way, Medellin Miami Molina says, Big O, please wear a werewolf costume if Agba gets multiple sacks. How about this? I'll wear a werewolf costume if Agba gets 13 sacks in honor of Marino. Not in a game, and not practice. We're not talking about practice. No, I'm talking about the season. He's got a 17-game season. He got the big money now, right? In the offseason, go get me 13 sacks. You've gone back-to-back years with 9. You want me to wear a werewolf costume so I can sweat my ass off while I'm doing it? Get me 13 sacks, Emmanuel Agba. Because, you know, he could get 2 sacks in a game and end up with 7 on the year. And then I wore a werewolf costume for that? No. No. So if you're going to get 2 sacks in a game, get me 13 in 17. And now we're talking. Now I'm wearing that werewolf costume. Okay? Big O, where do you put the Warriors dynasty? Well, everybody's behind the Celtic dynasty, right? Because you have to just go by championships. And I'm not putting them up with the Lakers dynasty. I think they're better. I would take the Celtics teams of the 80s over them too. And by the way, when I'm talking about those teams, I got to play those rules also. It got to be physical, baby. Let me see. I'm trying to think of San Antonio. I'm going to go with San Antonio. They're probably right there, right behind those. Oh, Bulls. I'm sorry. God, how could I forget? I gotta forget Michael's run. Either one of them. All 6 or individually each of the 3. If you want to separate it, because one had Cartwright, the other one had Rodman and, whatever, Hodges and, Steve Kerr, by the way, that kind of stuff, and Paxton. So there were some changes in it. But I don't think that's important where you rank them. They're a dynasty. And that's where you got to give them credit. Let's see. T-Mobile Arena is very good, Big O. Hope you get to experience it here in Vegas. Miles, I've experienced it several times already. I've been to concerts at T-Mobile Arena. Not better than the Forum. Not even close. So, yeah, I've been there. Saw U2 there also at T-Mobile. What else did I see at T-Mobile? Oh, I wonder if Journey's there this week. When I go up to Vegas next month, I'm going to go see Morrissey, the Black Keys, and Journey during those 10 days. Looking forward to that. The Journey one's going to be a very interesting one. Because I think we fly out like at 1 a.m., don't we? I want to say we fly out at 1 a.m. on the 15th, which is really the 16th on Saturday morning. Because I'm pretty sure I picked a red eye for us. So the concert is that night. So I'm leaving the concert straight to the airport to fly out. But I want to see Journey, man. I want to see Journey. I've seen him several times, but I love this version of Journey. I got to tell you. I also love Nature B and their 27 vitamins and amino acids, powerful antioxidants. And listen, I've been telling you about bee pollen from Clean Green New Zealand now for 20 years. That's why I rarely have a cold. It supports great nutrition, sustained energy all day long. And my favorite thing, this is why I take it first and foremost, supporting my immune system. And that's why I end up with maybe a cold or 2 in a year sometimes. Sometimes it's none in a year. Unless I forget and I sleep with my mouth open and the fan is hitting me and I'm breathing in all that air, then nothing is going to stop me then, and I end up with a damn cold. That'll happen, but I rarely just get a natural cold from other people or anything like that, and I attribute it all the time to Nature B. And that's why I tell you all the time, stronger nails, smoother skin, fuller hair. Go to naturebee.com, use my code BIG-O, and you're going to get free shipping on your plant pollen right there. 1 month supply, 3 month supply, 6 month supply. Go to naturebee.com, use my code BIG-O, and check it out at naturebee.com. And it's great for the entire family, for kids and everything, because it comes right from Mother Nature, Clean Green New Zealand, not some dude or some woman in a medical lab somewhere. No, all natural. Great for the kids. Justin Vaccaro, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, Big O, my prediction for Tua this season, 40 touchdowns, 12 picks, 4,500 yards, 5 rushing, and will be in the conversation for MVP. Might be bold, but we'll see. Very bold, Justin, but I love it. Love it. Hey, man, this is the time. Did I say Luanus?
Is that what Medellin says? Did I say Luganis, not Luganis? I don't know. That's what he says. I said, maybe I did. What the hell? You get tongue tied when you do radio or talk show for 3-4 hours. You're not going to get every word perfect, and sometimes it's going to come out a little faster than what it's going through your mind, and then that's when you kind of screw it up. Kevin's asking, did Omar renew his contract with the Sun Sentinel? Yes, and the Gazette. And the Gazette. Both places. He's ready to work. And happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Thank you, 6193. Very nice of you. And you know what? I would have forgotten to mention that to all the fathers out there. That happy Father's Day. Very important. Hope you guys have I hope you have half the day that I'm going to have on Sunday when I go to the concert. Although I hope that it doesn't rain. Campbell says, Big O, I have COVID. Need to get that. Yeah, man, especially with a virus-filled world. Man, I'm vaccinated and boosted, and I still take my Nature B every single day. Because I live with a teacher. Although the good thing is she's off now for the summer. So she's not bringing in all the germs. It's a beautiful thing. All right. We thank Ira Winderman, Manny Navarro, and Cameron Wolf, and Omar Kelly. If you missed any of those interviews, please go back to our podcast, or you can rewind here on YouTube. By the way, if your business wants to join our platform and grow the way we're growing, 786-754-4664 is our business line. 786-754-4664. If you want to help us grow and you want your business to grow by getting exposed on our platform, which, by the way, is headed for 26 million downloads this year, maybe even more. Once football season starts, this thing is going to explode even more. So we shall see. But we thank all of you out there for supporting us. And if your business wants to be a part of ours, 786-754-4664. Follow us on Twitter at Big O Show. Please follow us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and our second YouTube channel we've created now called Big O Show Cuts. Please subscribe to that one. We need to get to that one to 1,000 so we can have live programming from it also. So please help us get there. We shall see you on Monday, same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one, and thank you, Sean Stanley.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.